All right, so we give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahuah Mashiach. We repeat this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they which testify of me, and you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. And if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accuses you, even Moses in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Come on, Isaiah 34 and 16.
Seek you out of the book of Yahuah and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want or mate. From a mouth it hath commanded, and its ruach it hath gathered them.
Let's go to Revelation 1 and 1.
The revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach, which Elohim gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his Elohim unto his servant John, who bare record of the word of Elohim and of the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach and of all things that he saw. Baruch is he that read, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand.
We was in Ezekiel 16 and 5. Shalom, Jay.
Say, none I pitied you to do any of these unto you, to have compassion upon you. But you was cast out in the open field to the loathing of your person in the day that you was born. And when I passed by you and saw you polluted in your own blood,
I said what?
I said unto you when you was in your blood, live. Yeah, I said unto you when you was in your blood, live.
Let's go to John 8 and 12 real fast. Now, we're reading a lot more than what we need to. So we want to go to John 8 and 12 to establish a particular point. Go ahead.
Then spake Yahushua again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that follow me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
Pause. Go to Genesis 1 and 1. We got Genesis 1 to deal with anyway, so we'll stake off now. Get down, boy. Go ahead.
In the beginning, Elohim created Shamayim and the Arats, and the rest was without form and void, and darkness.
Remember, go ahead and tell them what without form and void is, just in case they don't remember.
That is formlessness, confusion, unreality, emptiness, a place of chaos, vanity. And void is bohu, emptiness, void, waste.
Go ahead.
And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
Tell them what darkness is.
That is koshek, darkness, obscurity, a secret place, wickedness.
Now, if you remember, he said, if you walk in darkness, you don't know where you're going. He said, he's the light of the world, and you won't walk in darkness. What was darkness by definition again, sir?
That is koshek. You got darkness, obscurity, a secret place. So you got wickedness, sorrow.
If you're walking in darkness, if you're walking in the light, then you won't be walking in wickedness or sorrow. Why? Because we read Isaiah 53. How you gonna bear this sorrow? Matter of fact, there's a debate going on tonight about that. Not that if the Lord is Isaiah 53, but is it messianic? Some people don't believe that Isaiah 53 is a messianic verbiage, if you would. Some people believe that Isaiah 53 is Hezekiah. Shalom, Mika. And some people believe Isaiah 53 is the nation of Israel as a whole, which is amazing. But continue on, sir.
Said the rest was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the ruach of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters.
What moved on it?
The ruach of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters.
And what happened?
And Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light.
And there was what?
And there was light.
Tell him the definition of Ore. Peace, East, man. Peace, Brother Robert, man.
That is light, the light of day, light of heavenly luminaries, daybreak, dawn, morning light, daylight, lightning, light of lamp, the light of life, the light of prosperity.
The light of life is what we would be seeing here in Genesis 1. But we also got to go back to Proverbs 6, because we didn't finish that chapter. Shalom, Sister Jim. Proverbs 6 and 20.
My son, keep your father's commandment and forsake not the law of your mother. Bind them continually upon your heart, tie them about your neck. When you go, it shall lead you. When you sleep, it shall keep you. And when you awake, it shall talk with you.
Hold on, run that back.
It said, when you go.
Now run the whole thing back.
It said, my son, keep your father's commandment.
Do what?
Keep your father's commandment.
Pause. Go to John 12:44. Go ahead. John 12:44.
Yahuah cried and said, he that believe on me, believe not on me, but on him that sent me. And he that see me, see him that sent me. I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believe on me should not abide in darkness.
Should not abide in what?
In darkness. If any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not. For I came not to judge the world, but to save the world. He that reject me and receive not my words, have one that judge him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day.
What else?
For I have not spoken of myself, but the Abba which sent me. He gave me a commandment.
He gave me a what?
A commandment.
What I should say?
And what I should speak.
And I know his commandment is?
Life everlasting.
Proverbs 6 and 20.
Say, my son, keep your father's commandment. Forsake not the law of your mother. Bind them continually upon your heart.
What else?
Tie them about your neck.
And what else?
When you go, it shall lead you.
It shall do what?
It shall lead you.
What else will it do?
When you sleep, it shall keep you.
When you sleep, it'll do what?
It shall keep you.
Tell them what keep means. Give them sleep and keep up.
Keep is shamar, that's to keep, guard, observe, to give heed, to save life. And sleep is shakab, to lie down.
To know you carnally. Or to go like this here. Now go to Romans 8 and 11. Because he just said the commandment that my father gave is life everlasting. After that, go to John 10 and 14. Dwayne.
But if the ruach of him that raised up Yahuah from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Mashiach from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his ruach that dwell in you.
Run that back one more time.
But if the ruach of him that raised up Yahuah from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Mashiach from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his ruach that dwell in you.
What else?
Therefore, brethren, we are debtors, not to the flesh, to live after the flesh. For if you live after the flesh, you shall die.
Okay, that's good. Now go to John 10 and 14.
I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and am known of mine. As the Abba know me, even so I know the Abba, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring. They shall hear my voice. There shall be one fold and one shepherd.
Slow, Brother Margaret.
Therefore do my Father love me, because I lay down my life that I might take it again.
That you might what?
That I might take it again.
Go ahead.
Say, no man take it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Abba.
Oh, now go back to Proverbs 6 and read verse 20 again. Slow, Mother Strong.
My son, keep your father's commandments and forsake not the law of your mother. Bind them continually upon your heart and tie them about your neck. When you go, it shall lead you. When you sleep, it shall keep you.
When you sleep, you see what kept him while he was asleep. That's why he didn't suffer his Kadash one to see corruption. Go ahead, man.
And when you awake, it shall talk with you. For the commandment is a lamp.
Hold on, when you wake, it'll do what?
It shall talk with you.
It'll do what?
Talk with you.
Luke 24 and 44. What book and chapter are you referring to, man? Luke 24 and 44. See, this tied to Deuteronomy 11. Come on with it.
And he said unto them, these are the words that I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled.
Which are written where?
In the law of Moses,
and in the
prophets,
and in the
Psalms,
and in the
concerning me.
Okay.
Then open he their understanding.
But they might do what?
Understand the scripture.
And he said, and thus it is written.
And thus it behooved the Mashiach to suffer and to rise from the dead the third day.
Go to Deuteronomy 11 and what? 14? Let me see what that says. This stuff most of y'all already don't know. No. Deuteronomy 11 and 18. Oh, okay. Shoot, you good. I just trying to follow what you was referring to, man. Come on with it.
So therefore shall you lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall teach them your children, speaking of them when you sit in your house.
When you sit in your well?
When you sit in your
of
house.
Course, you can shoot that, of course. He said, I taught in the temple every day, and the Yahudim never laid hands on me. What up?
And when you walk by the way,
he taught walking in the streets. What else?
And when you lie down,
taught them to the spirits in prison. That's why I said they'll guard you when you sleep.
And when you rise up.
And of course, we just read where he taught it to him when he resurrected from the dead. So come on back to Proverbs chapter 6. You can start at verse 20 again. I'm trying to run down the remnants of Proverbs 6 that we can, because we still got remnants in Ruth and Genesis 6 for that matter. And get pieces of Genesis 1 while we're running Ezekiel 16, because Ezekiel 16 is 63 verses long. Go ahead.
And my son, keep your father's commandments, forsake not the law of your mother. Bind them continually upon your heart, tie them about your neck.
Why?
When you go, it shall lead you.
And what
when
else?
You sleep, it shall keep you.
What else?
And when you awake, it shall talk with you.
And what else?
For the commandment is a lamp.
And the law
is light. And reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
The law is what?
The law is light.
Tell them what law is there, man. Give them every definition for it. I know y'all know the word Torah. That's
Torah. That's law, direction, instruction. That's instruction or direction, whether human or divine.
Whether human or what?
Or divine.
Now, I'm mentioning that there because we just read, he said, let there be light, right? Now go to Psalms 19 and 1 on general principle.
Shamahims declare the esteem of Elohim, and the firmament show his handiwork.
Hold on, say that again.
Say, Shamahims declare the esteem of Elohim, and the firmament show his handiwork.
What else?
Day unto day utter speech, and night unto night show knowledge.
What else?
There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard.
Pause. Go back to that first part. He say day unto day and utter what?
Utter speech.
Tell him what speech is there, man.
That is Omer, utterance, speech, word, saying, a promise, a command.
A promise. A command. He say from day to day, the promise go forth. What did he say happened from night to night?
Night to night, show knowledge.
Show what knowledge is there?
That's da'ah, knowledge, perception, skill.
Now I ask y'all this question. How do we ascertain that? Day to day, utter speech, and night to night, show forth knowledge. He said there's not a single solitary place on earth where their voice isn't heard. What does he mean by all that? Especially considering he said he's the light of the world. And we reading where obviously darkness means to be in wickedness. What's happening, Rohan? You know what I'm saying? Without form is to be with all manner of confusion. You know what I'm saying? So we're looking at a greater piece of information of what's being communicated, if you would. So let's do this. Read Psalms 19 one more time.
Says Shamahims declare the esteem of Elohim, and the firmament shows his
Paul,
handiwork.
He said the heavens declare the esteem of Elohim. So this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to go back to Genesis chapter 1. Lord willing, all this stuff going to relate back to John 8. Because what I went to John 8 for was something that we read in Ezekiel 16 and what we talked about on Wednesday about the covering or the kafar or the atonement. You know what I'm saying? The covering of sin and how another person cannot be your covering because they can't cover your sins. Go ahead.
So in the beginning, Elohim created Shamahim and the Arats was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the rock of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters. And Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light.
And there was what?
And there was light.
What happened after that?
And Elohim saw the light, that it was good. And Elohim divided the light from the darkness.
Divided the light from the what?
From the darkness.
That's why he says here, what we read, on the light of the world, he that follow me won't walk in darkness. So if he's separating the light from the darkness, he's separating life from wickedness. Give him the definition of darkness one more time.
That's koshek. You got darkness, obscurity, darkness, a secret place. You got the dark. You got wickedness, sorrow, destruction, death, ignorance.
Death. Separating life from death. So this is what we want to do. Acts 26 and 19. Make it 17 on general principle. Acts 26 and 17 on general principle. Dang, the verse I wanted is in my head. Now it's gone. Go ahead.
Say, delivering you from the people and from the Gentiles unto whom now I send you, to open their eyes, to turn them from darkness to light, and from the power of Hashatan unto Elohim.
The power of who?
from the power of Hashatan unto Allah.
Remember, he destroyed him to have power over death, that is the devil. What else?
That they may receive forgiveness of sins.
And what else?
An inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith that is in me.
Now come on back to Genesis chapter 1. That's what we're looking at when you look at a separation from light and darkness, because light, one of the definitions is the light of life. Matter of fact, 1 John 1 and 3 on general principle. Remember also what we talked about on Wednesday when it says that the life is in the blood, and he gave, and that the life of the flesh is the blood, and he's given the blood for an atonement. So of course we looked at when the Lord said, and I will give my flesh for the world, he's telling me I'm gonna give you my blood to make the atonement. And we get into something because it popped in my mind, because people be going back and forth, obviously. Maybe not for y'all, but for me anyway. About his Yahuah, the anointed one, the son of Elohim, the savior of man. I know for most of us, you might be like, well, that's not that big of a deal. But the same disputes, debates, contentions that they had when the apostles were manifesting the word, and even more directly and specifically when Yahuah was walking the earth, that ain't never stopped. You know what I'm saying? And I know you kind of believe it stopped because most of you coming from a Christian background. So definitely, Rohan. That's why I said it ain't never stopped. So you don't really, you didn't go to church and see people debating if this man was the Messiah or not. You understand? Now you read passages in the Gospels of where these people were waiting for this individual. Everybody did not believe, even in that time, that Yahuah was that individual. Just like people now don't. This is why we always open with John 5:39, because that's what you're supposed to be doing. I remember a long time, and when I say supposed to be, not necessarily every service, because somebody asked that once. Do you have to do that every service? No, you don't. But we know that Revelation 19 tells us that the testimony of Yahuah is the ruach of prophecy. So to a certain extent, it behooves us, not for the aspect of showing someone up or the aspect of look at what we can find and know, but that you can see, do this for me. Go to Acts 18 and 20. And it makes it worse that the New Testament is Greek and Latin versus Hebrew. History doesn't show evidence of Jewish inheritors of the teachings. And the thing is, right, they put it this way, right, with everybody being listed as Greek and Roman. See, I'm not really one stuck on what language stuff was written in, just because of the aspect of the people were in exile. So there's not necessarily going to be this strict holding to it has to be like this. And I don't limit Elohim to that particular point of view. Nevertheless, if you look at that from a natural point of view of what he's discussing, you're looking at these Hebrew people, they're going to do X, Y, Z. That's valid. If you would look at that and say, you know what, I don't want to fool with that because it was written in Greek. I also take into account with the Greek and the Latin, especially if you accept the fact, of course, most of us here do, the passages it says when they write his inscription above the stake, and it says written in Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. Matter of fact, grab that for me, just so whatever. It's somewhere in Matthew 27. What it is, 27 and what, 33? Something like that. Because what he stated is valid, because there's some people who hold that. Somebody I know who doesn't believe in Mashiach, he stated for him it was more so the followers of JC, as they like to refer to, because they look at Exodus 23 and 13 and saying not uttering that name of another God, so that's why they don't do it, and that's their prerogative. You know, some people get so angry when people don't believe in Yahuah. I'm not one of them people, because I don't care if you believe it or not. You know, I care as far as your soul is concerned. And again, for those who may not be, when I say I don't care enough to argue with you about it. If you are vehemently opposed and adamant on John 19 and 20, dare say, and adamant about that he's not, okay, cool. I'm not going to argue with you about that. Go ahead.
This title then read many of the Yahudim, for the place where Yahushua was crucified was near to the city, and it was written in Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. Then said the chief priest of the Yahudim to
That's good. And now the only reason, now when we pause this and look at that from historical context, Hebrew, Greek, and Latin would have been prevalent at that time based on who was ruling, which was the Romans. You know what I'm talking about? So at the course of this particular time, the people have been scattered. You could even sit back and look at, say, in Nehemiah, when he told them to get rid of them Moabites because their children didn't even speak Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? Get that for him. Nehemiah 13 and about 17. This guy told this guy 2 days ago, I don't care to pray for you. It's crazy to me if you got issues with y'all burn. Yeah, I'm not finna do that. I know people. Now, I told you I was talking to my dog about it. I told you the other day, he say this all the time. He was like, he don't troll people, troll me like he troll other people because he know that I'm 10 toes flat on what I don't really care what you got to say, and I'm not finna go back and forth with you about it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you don't believe it. What you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? See, some people like to pull that 1 Peter 3 and 15, which is referencing Isaiah 8. You're supposed to, with meekness, by your reason of hope, but that's in the face of persecution. I don't have to justify myself or what I stand on to satisfy you, for you to be like, okay, I see why you do that. Nigga, who is you? Who is you? Who is you to do all that for? You know what I'm saying? I'm not step catching and fetching for you, man. Okay, you don't believe it, bro. Cool. Because I promise you, bro, I've never seen a Muslim, a Buddhist, a Christian, another Israelite, whatever, and felt like, okay, prove to me why you believe what you believe. I'm not doing all that, bro. Okay, you believe what you believe. What you want me to do? If you ask me if what you believe line up with the word, if it go against the word, then I'm going to say that. I'm not just going to condone or go along with it to appease you. And if that offends you, then so be it. Because, some people want to tap dance around. They don't want to offend people or say you can't condemn this. I'm going to condemn whatever the word condemn. That's all you can do. If you offended by it, take it up with Yahuah. What you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? Like straight like that. What you want me to do? I can't do nothing about that, blood. And I ain't finna try to. Because like I told you the other day, sometimes you have to pause and ask yourself, are you going back and forth with people because you want to be right, or are you trying to convince yourself of whatever it is that you're telling them because you don't really believe it? Because if you have batak, if you have confidence in what it is that you believe in, then if they don't accept it, you're going to do just what the Lord told you to do. What the Lord told you to do, Cindy? Walk away. And most of us are not even preachers to begin with. So it ain't even your job to try to do that. All you can do is bear witness to the greatness of your God, like it said in Chronicles. What am I finna go back and forth with you for? For what? And for why? No, I'm not doing that. That's why I tell you, I go out in public, I ain't saying nothing to nobody about nothing if the situation and circumstance don't call for it. I ain't just randomly walking down the street throwing Bible verses at people. That's not what them men were doing. They were deliberate and specific and exact in the administration of the message, not just running up on people for the sake of running up on people. Of course, they lived in a different time. When I say in a different time, meaning they lived amongst the people who they were ministering to. It's not like how we are now here in America. There's people here, people there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who they were around, where they lived at, they knew they were Yahudim. They were of the seed of Yasharal. So that's why they could move how they was moving. Just because somebody's brown skin, melanated, quote unquote Negro or black, if you will, does not mean you just run up on them, slapping them upside the head with some word because you feel like you an Israelite, you need to hear this. That's not the way to go about it, man. You got to wait for opportunity. Then when the opportunity is, you serve them. They may sample it, they may not. That's not your job, though. You know what I'm saying? All you can do is serve it. You can't make them use it. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead, man.
What verse you said?
Nehemiah 13 and 17, man. Tell me what that say.
It said, Then I contended with the nobles of Yehudah and said unto them, What evil thing is this that you do and profane the Shabbat day? Did not your fathers thus, and did not our Elohim bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet you bring more wrath upon Yashrob by profaning the Shabbat. And it came to...
We don't want to go that far. We're going to read too much. 23. Nehemiah 13:23.
In those days also saw I Yalbin that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and Moab, and the children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Yahudim's language.
They couldn't even speak Hebrew. So I'm mentioning this here because that is not a foreign concept. You know what I'm talking about? They coming out of exile. Remember, they're coming out of Babylon. And some men were married to strange women. Their children couldn't speak Hebrew. So I'm saying this here, like, if it would have continued with that generation of children, it's very likely that they would have wrote things in the dominant language that they spoke in. Take facts, unless I'm asked or feel compelled. Not for sure. Just digress. But you have to remember that they're going to write things in the dominant language that they speak. Because the main reason why I'm mentioning this here, because you're dealing with an exiled people. So they're not closely aligned with the culture that, say, pre-exilic people would have been aligned with. People before Babylon, that's going to be different because there's no separation. There's no intermingling with other people. There's no dallying around in other people's lands. It's the same token. You know, it's almost akin to seeing the totality of what happened with the Tower of Babel. The languages are scrambled. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, because nowhere in the text does God say Hebrew is my language. That's man's thought process. You know what I'm saying? That God is preferential to one particular language. The text does not speak to any of those things. The reason why that point of view is held, obviously, because Hebrew spoke Hebrew. Those are the people whom he chose. But of course, he's going to communicate with them in the language that they're going to understand. Why would he speak to them in Sumerian tongue and they're not Sumerian? Why would he speak to them? Because he's not going to speak to a Philistine in Hebrew. The Philistine don't speak Hebrew. So he's not going to, case in point. You read Genesis 20 and he's communicating with Amalek, the king, to stop him from laying with Sarah. You think he spoke to him in Hebrew, bro? You think that's how he communicated to him? How could he communicate to him in that fashion? Here's another point. It says that that Joseph was exiled in Egypt, and it said that he spoke Egyptian. Literally spoke Egyptian, but he also spoke Hebrew too. You know what I'm saying? So we have to keep that in account. And I'm only saying that there because it's natural, being human beings, that we're going to have particular biases to certain things. You know what I'm talking about? That God ain't really got no bias to. Because, of course, we know in Isaiah 28, he say, with another language and another tongue, I'm going to speak to this people. The word itself is going to be communicated in whatever fashion that he desires to get it communicated. We as flesh and blood people get stuck on, well, they didn't speak this, so I'm going to reject it. And it's valid coming from a natural point of view. I wouldn't even argue against that per se. But when you look at that from a heavenly point of view, it doesn't make sense. Because that means that we're putting a limitation on how this man is going to operate. Now, it would have been different if the Israelites weren't under Roman occupation, which is where the Latin come in at. And of course, you know, Shalom, Brother Ernest, you know, the Romans were influenced by the Greeks because they shared culture. So that's why you see the Greek in there. And there still were Brews who were speaking Hebrew. That's why you see all three. When you look at Paul makes mention, I'm a Roman citizen. Whoop, whoop, whoop. This man's speaking in all of these languages because that's where he come from. You understand? If someone put it this way, right? Even though people go there, if some of us were born in Haiti, we would come over here speaking French, bro. Because that's where you lived at. You know what I'm saying? If we were born in Canada, we might come over here speaking French. Because that's what they speak there in certain parts of it. You know what I'm talking about? But you here in America speaking English. Like this here, like, again, nowhere in the text does this man say he's partial to any tongue that man speaks. We come up with that. And that's the pedestalizing and idolizing of certain things, making things that are more important to God than he actually ever said was. What would you at before that? So I've heard a lot of people saying that very thing. I believe it. But I get it, though. That's why I say you have to look at things from a man's point of view and then look at it from God's point of view. You know what I'm saying? Say, shoot, even in this country, there's different dialects and accents. There is different accents, it's different slang. You know what I'm saying? Depending on where you at. So, yeah, but and I'm glad Rohan mentioned that because that's a valid point. Because that's why a lot of people who do not accept Yahushua as the Hamashiach is because of the language that the New Testament is written in. You know what I'm saying? Some people they have a real live aversion to that. He says also how captivity works. You take on the language and customs of your captor. That is correct. Because when we look in Daniel, all them young men's names were changed to the names of the gods of the people where they were at. They changed Daniel's name to Belshazzar. That wasn't his name, though. But that's what they changed his name to. And you don't think that after a while of being in Babylon, they're going to begin to speak in a Babylonian tongue? It's quite natural because the generations of children that are born, they're going to be far removed from that. The same way if any of you've ever been around real deal Asian people, they fight hard to keep their children from being Americanized. You know what I'm saying? Because they want them to hold fast to their culture. But truth be told, the only way you can hold fast to your culture is to not intermingle with other people. Because once you begin to intermingle with other people, you're going to begin to take on the habits, culture, and things of that nature of the people you're around. That's just what happens. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's just what happens. Yeah, you do see him talking to Paul in the Hebrew language. Indeed. You know what I'm saying? And I think you see the same thing with Stephen. But these are Hebrew speakers who he's communicating with, so it makes sense that he would do that. Because again, put it this way, right? None of us here speak Hebrew. None of us here speak Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? So do we really believe that if the Almighty was to crack the heavens open to speak to you right now, that he going to speak to you in Hebrew and he know you can't read it, write it, or speak it? Now, what makes sense? What type of sense does that make for this man to communicate to you in a language that you don't understand? And that's the point that I told you always, that I picked up from that book, Niggas to Guys, Volume 2, when I was in high school. The objective is to impart understanding to your audience. And I don't think a lot of brothers realize that right now. The Almighty Elohim, Yahuah of hosts, would not speak to any of us in Hebrew if we don't speak Hebrew. Why would he do that? You're not going to understand anything that he said. What would have been the point of the interaction? That makes him look foolish. You know what I'm saying? Saying with Judges 3, that generation hasn't skilled in war generations. Yeah, I mean, that's just how that goes as time roll on. You feel me? But read me Acts 18 and 20. But again, I understand. But like I said, man, it's 2025, man. If we was living in Mexico and you spoke Spanish, you think if the Almighty communicated with you, he going to communicate to you in English? And you don't speak English? This is what Paul was getting on in 1 Corinthians 14 by speaking in tongues and there was no interpreter because it doesn't benefit anybody. Now, of course, Isaiah 28 was referenced in 1 Corinthians 14 when he said, with a stammering lips and another tongue will I speak to this people. And we have to look at that. So he's already laying out, I'm going to communicate with you in another language. Now, why would he give you this information? Because he already know you finna be scattered. He know the end from the beginning from the end. He already know what he finna do. Come on with it.
So when they desired him to tarry longer time with them, he consented not, but bade them farewell, saying, I must by all means keep this feast that come in Jerusalem, and I'll return again unto you if Elohim will. And he sailed from Ephesus. And when he had landed at Caesarea and gone up and saluted the assembly, he went down to Antioch. And after he had spent some time there, he departed and went over all the country of Galatia and Phrygia in order, strengthening all the disciples. And a certain Yahudi named Apollos, born at Alexandria.
Oh, there it is.
An eloquent man, mighty in the scriptures, came to Ephesus. This man was instructed in the way of the Lord. Being fervent in the spirit, he spake and taught diligently the things of the Lord, knowing only the baptism of John. And he began to speak boldly in the synagogue, whom when Aquila and Priscilla had heard, they took him unto them and expounded unto him the way of Elohim more perfectly.
What else?
And when he was disposed to pass into Achaia, the brethren wrote, exhorting the disciples to receive him, who when he was come helped them much, which had believed through grace. For he mightily convinced the Yahudim, and that publicly, showing by the scriptures
that Yahushua was what?
Hamashiach.
Now, go to Acts 28 and 23. Now, I'm mentioning this for one reason, because some people are going to believe it and some people aren't. And you have to be cool with that. A lot of brothers and sisters, y'all not cool with that. You feel like because you believe it, they got to believe it too. But they don't. They don't. If Yahuah don't give them a mind and heart to believe it, then so be it. What can you do to change it? You can't make straight what he's made crooked. Come on with it.
And when they had appointed him a day, there came many to him and into his lodging, to whom he expounded and testified the Malkuth of Elohim, persuading them concerning Yahushua, both out of the law of Moses and out of the prophets, from morning till evening.
And what happened?
And some believed the things which were spoken,
and some
believed not.
And that's, go ahead.
And when they agreed not among themselves, they departed. After that, Paul had spoken one word, well spake the Ruach HaKadosh by Isaiah the prophet unto our fathers, saying, go unto this people and say, hearing you shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see and not perceive.
And it is what it is. And it is what it is. Get him Isaiah 28 and 9 on general principle. Then what was that? Genesis 1 and 3. No, it is what it is. You feel me? Peace, Brother Joseph, man. You just can't. Now you have to remember, Paul was commissioned to do that. The apostles were commissioned to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yahushua said, if you don't believe Moses, you're not going to believe me. You know, these things are, no, it is what it is. You can't take it personally. I think some people take it as if, why won't you just believe this? Okay, they don't believe it. Now what? What are you going to do? Go ahead.
Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little, there a little.
What else?
For with stammering lips and another tongue
will I
speak to this people.
With a what?
The stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people.
What else?
To whom he said, this is the rest wherewith you may cause the weary.
That's good. That's going to take it somewhere else. Tell them what stammering lips and another tongue is, man, just to be clear.
Stammering is la'ag, that's mocking or mocker or stammering. And then lips is safeth, language, speech.
The speech that he's going to speak to you is going to be of a mocking nature. And then another.
And then tongue is
Lashan. As them boys like to say, Lashawan. You know what I'm talking about? Which is language. You know what I'm saying? So we say, now Isaiah, as far as you can read in the text, Isaiah didn't speak another language. You know what I'm talking about? So he's communicating to you that I'm going to speak to you in another language. Now, some people going to have their thought processes on what Isaiah 28 is about when it comes to that, and that's their business. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm just referencing to the aspect of he is not regulated to communicating with you in Hebrew. And this is why. Ezekiel chapter 5 and verse 3. You know, listen what he say. Man, we could read Luke 21 with it. Go ahead.
You shall also take thereof a few in number and bind them in your skirts. Then take of them again and cast them into the midst of the fire. Burn them in the fire.
Burn them.
For thereof shall a fire come forth into all the house of Yasharal.
All the house.
Thus saith Yahuah Elohim.
What he said?
This is Jerusalem. I have set it in the midst of the nations, the countries that are round about her. She have changed my judgments and the wickedness more than the nations, my statutes more than the countries that are round about her. For they have refused my judgments and my statutes, they have not walked in them. Therefore, thus saith Yahuah Elohim, because you multiplied more than the nations that are round about you, and have not walked in my statutes, neither have kept my judgments, neither have done according to the judgments of the nations that are round about you. Therefore, thus saith Yahuah Elohim, behold, I, even I, am against you, and will execute judgments in the midst of you in the sight of the nations. And I will do in you that which I have not done, whereunto I will not do any more the like, because of all your abominations. Therefore the fathers shall eat the sons in the midst of you, the sons shall eat their fathers. I will execute judgments in you, and the whole remnant of you will I scatter into all the winds.
Go ahead.
Wherefore, as I live, saith Yahuah Elohim, Surely because you have defiled my sanctuary with all your detestable things and with all your abominations, therefore will I diminish you. Neither shall my eyes spare, neither will I have any pity.
No pity.
Third part of you shall die with the pestilence.
Die with pestilence.
With famine shall they be consumed in the midst of you.
What else?
Third part shall fall by the sword round about you.
What else?
And I will scatter a third part into all the winds, and I will draw a sword after them.
He said, I'm going to scatter the third part into the what?
Into all the winds, and I'll draw the sword after them.
What else?
Thus shall my anger be accomplished.
Now, that's third part. That's good. And in winds, is you're going to be scattered amongst the nations. Remember, Ezekiel's in Babylon. They've already been scattered. You know what I'm talking about? So he's telling you that he's going to do this again. Luke 21 and 20. Then after that, 1 John 1 and 3. And we get back to that. But I didn't want to mention that the contention of is Yahushua the Anointed One is not new. It's been happening since the day that he presented himself before Yasharal and said, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Believe the gospel. That contention has been there. And it's not going to stop until his triumphant return. And you just have to know that. Go ahead.
And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is near. Then let them which are in Judea flee into the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out. Let not them that are in the countries enter therein too. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
Then he say these are the days of what?
Of vengeance.
That all things might remember that be white be what?
Fulfilled.
We just read that he tell you, man, I'm gonna draw the sword against y'all, man. They were already in exile in Babylon when he said this. Continue.
But woe unto them that are with child, and them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people.
Uh-oh.
They shall fall by the edge of the sword.
That's what he said, didn't it?
And shall be led away captive into all nations. Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles.
This is literally what Ezekiel just told you. It's literally what he just told you. So when you see that, he's going to have to communicate with them in another tongue. Because you're going to be gone from here for so long, you're not going to be speaking Hebrew. I can tell you that. There's no way you're going to maintain a language uninterrupted in other people's lands. Because you're not going to be able to communicate with the people who you're living amongst. Now, Yahuah already got the foresight to see and know this. So again, especially when we look at it as, this is the wild part too, Rohan. Look at it like this here, right? We as a group of people who have never spoke Hebrew a day in our life are looking at a text odd because it's not written in the language that we never spoke. And now we got this thought process. It should be written like this, though we've never spoken it. We've never read it. We never wrote it. You know what I'm saying? We've been writing, speaking, and teaching English from the day you slid out your mother's womb. Now, I'm not saying that in regards to that just hit my brain like that's wild that we can get like that with the accruing of information. You know what I'm saying? Now we looking at it, oh, it should be like this or it should be like that. And we don't even come from that. You know what I'm saying? We don't even come from that. But you know, it is what it is. As people like to say, it is what it is. Come on back to 1 John 1 and 3.
That which we have seen and heard declare we unto you, that you also may have fellowship with us. And truly our fellowship is with the Abba and with his son, Yahushua HaMashiach. These things write we unto you, that your joy may be full.
Might be full.
This then is the message which we have heard of him.
The Elohim
is light.
And no part.
And in him is no darkness at all.
Now go back to Psalms 19.
So Shamahim declared the esteem of Elohim, and the firmament show his handiwork.
The firmament do what?
Show his handiwork.
What else is it?
Day unto day utter speech, night unto night show knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard.
There's no what?
No speech nor language where their voice is not heard.
Where their voice is not heard. Go back to Genesis 1. You start at what? Verse 3? I'm going to have to run this John down. I'm already around now. Run it.
Then Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light.
Pause. Now, y'all come back to John 8 and 12. See if it's going to be in a holding pattern in Genesis 1. We read John 8 and 12. I'm going to read it right now. He said, but there's no evidence that those who are not of the community weren't bringing in their culture when they reasoned the truth. It's a subject for me at the moment because I'm different. No, and I don't disagree with that. You know what I'm talking about? That there's evidence that they weren't speaking Hebrew per se. But then when we take in like what we see in Acts, also when we take into account too, Rohan, when we look at those who were scattered to Assyria, and they may have been coming back for Pentecost, like we read, they wouldn't have been speaking Hebrew for as long as they had been gone. You know what I'm saying? But I look at it as I think it's a more human thing that we looking at this here and not looking at it in the aspect of this thing bigger than man because this don't belong to man. You know what I'm saying? The Torah don't belong to man. The prophecies don't belong to man. The word don't belong to man. I think we begin to be possessive of things that belong to God. And it's understandable when you look at it from a human point of view. Say a group of people in Jehovah's Witnesses group, I'm seeing that from all sects of Christianity, there's discrepancy of scripture and all quote Paul. Well, you also have to take into account most of them don't have the witness of Yahuah either, Rohan. So when all fails, when they don't understand something in the Torah, Tanakh, or even from the Gospels, they just go and fall on Paul because they can take his letters, which when you not learn in the text can be ambiguous, and then make them be whatever they want them to be. That's what I've noticed. Now you might have, because you be intertwined with more Christian people than I do. So you can definitely speak from that point of view a tad bit better than I can. And when I say a tad, I mean miles, a marathon. You know what I'm talking about? A long distance. But that's what I've noticed in those that I've been around, because they don't really have a strong understanding of the text. So it's just easier to fall back on Paul because well, at least you know that, Rohan. Everybody here should know that. You know that we are of the point of view that whatever you read in those epistle letters, you should be able to verify and justify from the Torah and Tanakh where he getting it from. Because there was no Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John for Paul to reference. You know what I'm saying? When he's writing these letters. That's why we read that Acts 28 and 23, because he's teaching them people the same way that Yahuah taught his apostles. You know what I'm saying? When he first rose from the dead. So everything that he's saying should be referenced from Genesis to Malachi. And sincerely, because I believe that many of the people like that you're referencing can't do that, then they just make whatever they want to make with his letters because it's easier to justify their doctrinal stance. When most of them don't even have an organic and understanding of the word, they're just parroting whatever school of thought word-wise that they come from. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be Lutherans, Greek Orthodox, Catholic, Pentecostal, Baptist, Calvinists, Seventh-day Adventists, like you say, Jehovah's Witnesses, which we're not even going to take Jehovah's Witnesses serious when we know this was started by a 33rd degree Freemason. That's an automatic ejection. You know what I'm talking about? Along with Seventh-day Adventists, Mormons, another 33rd degree Freemason. That's an automatic ejection. You know what I'm talking about? Anything that you know that a Mason started, that's supposed to be an automatic ejection. Especially when you read that they 33rd degree Freemasons. That's automatic ejection. We can't do nothing with that. We already know this is mixed mash and confusion off the top. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, some of you may not be aware of that, but yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses is started by Charles Taze Russell. He's a 33rd degree Freemason. His grave, you can Google his grave right now. It is a Masonic shrine. You know what I'm talking about? Like straight up and down. So, of course, if you're familiar with Adam Westphal and the founding of the Bavarian Illuminati on May 1st, 1776, he said his objective was destroy the Bible without touching it. Because we know the word of Yahuah is forever. It cannot be destroyed. But what can be destroyed is people batak in it. There are Amuna in it. There are Aman in it. Your faith and confidence in that word, we can destroy that, though. So they're going to pervert it with their teachings, which is why you got to know the word. You got to know your God. When you don't know your God, you're going to have problems. You're going to have major, major problems. Case in point, people take Paul's statement of we not under the law. That means the law done away with. But that's not what that man is communicating. He's not communicating that. And what's happening in this time frame of life that we in, that we're blaming him for individuals saying something that he did not communicate. So we saying it's his fault. He's dead. He's not here to be able to say, this is what I meant when I wrote that or not, which is what people like to do. Because when you're dead, there's nobody to be able to, you can't defend your words. When you die, I can make whatever you said and taught be whatever I want it to be, because you're not here to stop me. You know what I'm saying? Case in point, he makes the statement, where there is no law, there's no transgression. So people be like, see, that means you can smoke crack because ain't no law. So it ain't no sin. But that's not what he's communicating. When you know the word, you know that's not what he's communicating. But when you don't know the word, you can isolate that passage and make it be what you want it to be. You know what I'm talking about? Like when he's talking to people about, hey man, if you get circumcised, you falling from grace. They're taking that as, see, he telling people not to be circumcised. And guess what we know? In the time period he was alive, they were accusing him of the same thing. And that man said, when you ever seen me do that? They were accusing the man of bringing uncircumcised people in here. He said, man, I ain't never did that. So we have to pause, and every person on here probably at one point in their life has had someone take their words and make your words that you said mean something completely different than what you actually said. And people didn't know that until they came and talked to you and found out this person perverted and distorted your words. But see, the difference is you here to clean that up. When you dead, you can't clean that up. It's just out there. You know what I'm saying? The only people who could clean that up is possibly if there was someone who was alive who heard you say it that knew what your intent was. Case in point, people take the Lord's words of, it's not what goes into a man that defile him, but what come out, to mean that you can eat whatever you want, even though the context of the chapter ain't even talking about that. And you could show people from Wednesday to next Wednesday the context of what he talking about, and they're going to be like, nah, it mean that. You know what I mean? So there's nothing you could do about that whole time. But what we got? John 8:12, man? Mm-hmm. Then spake Yahuah again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that follow me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. The Pharisees therefore said unto him, you bear record of yourself, your record is not true. Yahuah answered and said of them, though I bear record of myself, my record is true. For I know whence I came and where I go, but you cannot tell whence I come and where I go. You judge after the flesh, I judge no man. Yet if I judge, my judgment is true, for I am not alone, but I and the Abba that sent me. It is written in your law that the testimony of two men is true. I am one that bear witness of myself, and the Abba that sent me bear witness of me. Then said they unto him, where is your Abba? Yahuah answered, you neither know me nor my Abba. If you had known me, you should have known my Abba also. These words spake Yahuah in the treasury as he taught in the temple. And no man laid hands on him, for his hour was not yet come. This is really why I came to John 8. This is verse 21. Then said Yahuah again unto them, I go my way, and you shall seek me, and you shall die in your sins. And where I go, you cannot come. Then said the Yahudim, will he kill himself because he said, where I go, you cannot come? Now, we read about where he was going, where they couldn't go in Hebrews 7 on Wednesday. He said unto them, you are from beneath and I am from above. You are of this world. I am not of this world. I said, therefore, that you shall die in your sins. For if you believe not that I am, you shall die in your sins. Now, this is my question for you. He says, I said unto you, you'll die in your sins. If you believe not that I am, you'll die in your sins. Based off what you have something cooking in there? So based off what we read on Wednesday, what passage goes along with this? This John 8:24. Based on what we talked about on Wednesday, what verse goes along with this? And if you can't recall it, that's fine. We're going to reread it anyway. I just want to see if anybody can recall from memory some of the things that we looked at to say, okay, this goes along with this passage. And he said, I said, therefore, to you, you shall die in your sins. If you believe not that I am, you shall die in your sins. What you say, Sid? Where your eggs, that's deviled at. She making devil's eggs. Or are they deviled eggs? What is a deviled egg? What does that even mean? It's dirty. It's dirty. That is the subsequent passage down the line, but not the key point. So I'll allow it because it's in the vicinity. You wanted them because they had that at your auntie party. That's why you want them deviled eggs. She finna be in here far. Your two things make you fart: beans and deviled eggs, and egg salad.
Or the eggs that smell like corn.
Or do the egg? That's the sulfur. That's the sulfur in the egg. Them the worst type of farts, boy. Farts smell like egg. That boy inside's right. I seen somebody recommending taking chlorophyll, so you won't have stank breath or foul secretions. I used to drink chlorophyll, then they made it too difficult to open them glass bottles, and I left them alone. I don't even know if they still sell that at Publix. You know what I'm talking about? That chlorophyll. Remember them Soul Tide drinks in the glass bottles?
Yeah.
I ain't ever thought about that. I ain't noticed it, man. They made it hell to tell the captain to open them bottles. Yeah, that's the only drink I ever had with chlorophyll in it. Go to Romans 3:20, sir. Stanley put Leviticus 17:11, which is adjacent.
Say, therefore, by the deeds of the law, there shall no flesh be justified in his sight. For by the law is the knowledge of sin. But now the righteousness of Elohim without the law is manifested, being witnessed by the law and the prophets. Even the righteousness of Elohim, which is by faith.
Which is by what?
Which is by faith of Yahuah HaMashiach.
What else?
Unto all and upon all.
Now, see, I'm going to show you an example of what I'm talking about. Back up to verse 20 and listen how this man's words going to get perverted. Even though at the end of that chapter, he said, do we make the law void through faith? That man said, God forbid. We established that. So nothing in this statement is denoting the diminishing, departing, or cancellation of the law. You know what I'm saying? None of that is saying this. Go ahead.
Say, therefore, by the deeds of the law.
But for by the what?
By the deeds of
shall
the law,
no flesh
be justified in his sight.
So nobody's going to be righteous in God's eyesight by deeds of the law. Let's take a look at something. Isaiah 64, verse 8. It's a passage we didn't talk about before. You know, all our righteousness are as filthy rags. It's used improperly based off the definition of the word. Go ahead.
But now, O Yahuah, you are our Father. We are the clay. You are our potter.
Go ahead.
We all are the work of your hand.
That's right.
Be not wroth, very sorrow, Yahuah, neither remember iniquity forever.
That's
Behold,
right.
See, we beseech you, we are all your people.
Go ahead.
Your Kadash cities are a wilderness. Zion is a wilderness. Jerusalem a desolation.
Live.
Our Kadash and our beautiful house where our fathers praised you is burned up with fire.
Burned up with fire.
And all our pleasant things are laid waste.
Waste.
Will you refrain yourself for these things, O Yahuah?
Come on.
Will you hold your shalom and afflict us very sore?
Go ahead.
That's that.
Go back to verse 4 then. Isaiah 64:4. I figured I ain't heard. I was too low.
Say, for since the beginning of the world, men have not heard,
nor eye,
nor perceived by the ear, neither have the eye seen.
What Elohim has prepared.
Beside you, what he had prepared for him that wait for him.
Go ahead.
You meet him that rejoice and work righteousness. Those that remember you in your ways, behold, you are wroth, for we have sinned, and those in continuance, and we shall be saved. But we are all as an unclean thing.
Correct, sir. We are all as a what?
Unclean thing.
And all of our
righteousness
are as
filthy rags.
Now tell them what that filthy rags mean. Now it really means the best deeds from a guilty people. But read it for me.
Filthy is that's menstruation or filthy rag, a stained garment.
This is a stained garment.
Or figuratively, the best deeds of guilty people.
Of a guilty people. So you know what I'm saying? So this is what this means when he said our righteousness. But what is your righteousness? Deuteronomy 6:25. This is your righteousness. But that's not, it's going to make you righteous in the eyesight of God. It's two different things. And I think a lot of people have a hard time dealing with that, especially, Isaiah 53 tell you, by the knowledge of my righteous servant will justify many. The knowledge of this particular servant is going to make many Zadok. He didn't say the law, he said the knowledge of it. Which that's going to be, we'll get the word, Hebrew word for it. Come on.
He's saying it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments.
It'll be whose righteousness?
Our righteousness.
So that's not God's righteousness. You know what I'm saying? So what he's making is, again, y'all know this because we talk about it. There's a difference. That Deuteronomy 6:25 righteousness is not the same as the Genesis 15:6 righteousness. Read Genesis 15:6 for those who may not be aware.
And he believed in Yahuah, and he counted it to him for righteousness.
He believed what?
He believed in Yahuah.
And he counted it to him for
righteousness.
There wasn't no law involved here. So Abraham is righteous in the eyesight of God. That's why he's called the friend of God. You know what I'm saying? In Isaiah. So let's do this. I can't remember where it was. I was go ahead, man. What you hope? Oh, back to Romans 3. That's what we got to go back to. Oh, I was what it was. Isaiah 53:10. Just given when you read the verse and you hear knowledge of my righteous servant justify many, just tell them what knowledge means, what the word used there, see if it's doth or not.
Say, yet it pleased Yahuah to bruise him, he hath put him to grief. When you shall make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of Yahuah shall prosper in his hand. He shall see the travail of his soul, and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities.
He's gonna carry their punishment.
Which word?
Knowledge.
That is the knowledge.
Same word that we read in Psalms 19. This is knowledge. This is discernment. That's why he's telling you to search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they which testify me, and you won't come to me that you might have life in order to be justified with God. You're not coming. Because the law is not going to justify you with him, because what did we just read? He tell you the law is the knowledge of sin. And remember, he told Adam not to touch it. Now, why did he tell Adam not to touch it? Because Adam was a righteous man. He had no need for the law. The law is for sinners, which is why we can see if they would have. And this is how you know the difference of your righteousness and his righteousness, because the tree of life, they would have lived forever. The righteousness which of God tends unto life. The law don't tend unto life, because if you break it, you die. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. And people don't like to hear that because they get in their mind, oh, that means you telling people not to keep it. No, you're equating that to whatever bias, discrepancies, angst, and any other negative adjective that pertains to anger or being disturbed with the Christian church, and you laying that at the feet of a man who's not communicating what they took his words to mean. You understand? You have to take case in point. We don't have no problem with the law when these white folks took what was in the law to justify making you their slave. But you know what that man communicating in the law when it comes to that. But guess what? There's a generation of black folks that don't want to deal with the Bible because that's in the text because of what somebody else perverted those verses to mean. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. I just was reading a thread where somebody said, how can y'all deal with the Bible and the Bible condones slavery? You know what I'm talking about? Like people have a problem with that. They have a problem with it. Listen, people have a problem with the fact he flooded the earth and killed everybody. There's people who have a problem with that. There's people who have a problem that 42 she-bears ate them young men when they were mocking Elisha. You got people, they got a problem with that. So they don't want to, and you'll be able to like, oh no, this what they don't care. They don't want to hear that. Now I'm only mentioning that because if we're going to apply a standard, just know that somebody will apply that same standard over here with the part of the text that we say, okay, I'm a fool with this. And people gonna have a problem with that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. You got people who don't accept the book of Daniel because Yahuwah's name is not mentioned in it. The same with the book of Esther. You have some people who won't accept the book of Daniel because it's written in Aramaic. You know what I'm talking about? And they're like, no, we ain't fooling with that. Just like you have some people, they get up in arms by people celebrating Hanukkah or celebrating Purim. That's not, God didn't give these feasts like nigga. So when you read in Zechariah about the feast in the 5th month and in the 9th month, you got a problem with them? Because he didn't ordain those either. But yet they were doing it. You know what I mean? So come on, man. Back to Romans 3.
Say, therefore, by the deeds of the law, there shall no flesh be justified in his sight.
For
by the law is the knowledge of sin.
Knowledge of sin.
But now the righteousness of Elohim.
Pause. And how do we know it's the knowledge of sin? Because that tree was the knowledge of good and evil. Tob and Ra. That's all the law is. If you have the knowledge of Ra, you have the knowledge of sin, which means you have the knowledge of evil. It's that simple. There ain't no way around it. Continue.
So, but now the righteousness of Elohim without the law is manifested.
Pause. We just seen in Genesis 15 the righteousness of Elohim without the law with Abraham. You can see the righteousness without the law in Exodus when you came up out of Egypt. Law didn't free them. That was the righteousness of God without the law. He told them put this blood on the doorpost and you'll slide. They did that by faith. No law involved. Continue.
Say being witnessed by the law and the prophets.
He said the law and the prophets bear witness of the righteousness of God without the law. So guess what that means, Paul telling you? You should be able to determine that and examine that and find that from Genesis to Malachi. Now, I gave you two references. If you can't find that, guess what that means? It's not a problem with Paul's words. It's a problem with your understanding. I just told him about that the other day. He says contradictions in the text. Is it contradictions or is your understanding contradictory? And therefore, because your understanding is contradictory, you have to blame the word for it. Because you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Now, I didn't come at him like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. This is a question that to pose to yourself. I've always told you, man, if you run across a text and it's something that you don't understand, don't blame the word, blame yourself. We would rather blame the word. See, there's something wrong with this. Never considering, maybe I just don't know what the hell going on. And that's okay. Read that last part again.
He said, but now the righteousness of Elohim without the law is manifested, being witnessed by the law and the prophets.
Now, we're not going to do that today. Maybe we can reference back to that in the Lord willing in another time to literally do what he just said. He said the righteousness without the law is manifested in the law and the prophets. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I gave you Abraham and I gave you the children of Israel coming out of Egypt. Can somebody else give me more witnesses of the righteousness without the law? I give you another free one. You got Gideon. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, how about another one? Jephthah. Hold on. How about another one? Elijah. All right, so we keep going. Noah. You know what I'm talking about? How about another one? Elisha. Hold on. How about another one? The woman of Zidon who Elijah went to. Hold on. Let me give you another one. How about Naaman the Syrian? That's just a few. There's another. Rahab. You know what I'm talking about? Joseph. You say, oh, yeah. Somebody mentioned Rahab. There's another one for Rahab. You know what I'm saying? It's a multitude of examples of this. You know what I mean? Samuel's mother, indeed. Now, I'm referencing this here because, and if you want to go search this out, obviously, I highly recommend it. But it's also to cause your mind to move in that. Is there validation for the statement that Paul is making when he says the righteousness without the law is testified in the law and the prophets? That means it's there. That means it's there. So that means the point that he's making that you're not going to be justified with God by the works of the law, he's not pulling that out of his butthole. There's Torah and Tanakh for it. Yes, Lot would be an example. You know what I'm talking about? It's a multitude. It's not just a small amount. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
So you got Abel.
You got Abel. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You got Enoch. You know what I'm talking about? Shoot, you got David. And I'm talking about David when he ran up on Goliath, David. You know what I'm talking about? Not when he King David. Huh, you got one? She ain't got one. Yes, she don't know what's going on. Read it for her.
It said, but now the righteousness of Elohim without the law is manifested, being witnessed by the law and the prophets.
We're looking for examples of just that. We done gave a minute. You probably gonna name somebody we already mentioned. But it's a lot though. You got Hezekiah during the time when they did the Passover. You know what I'm saying? You got Josiah. It is a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a few people here and there. It's just something that a lot of times is not searched out. So people think it's an isolated incident. So they don't think that what he's talking about is actual book. And it is. The book is littered with it. Go ahead. Romans 3 and what?
22.
Go ahead.
Say, even the righteousness of Elohim, which is by faith of Yahuah HaMashiach, unto all and upon all them that believe, for there is no difference. For all have sinned and come short of the esteem of Elohim, being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in the Mashiach Yahushua, whom Elohim has set forth to be a propitiation through faith in his blood.
This is the verse that I was referring to, that we talked about on Wednesday, the propitiation through faith in his blood. And that's where the Leviticus 17 come in at. Because if you have faith in his blood, what do you have faith in? Leviticus 17 and 10.
And whatsoever man there be of the house of Yasharah or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eat any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eat blood, and will cut him off from among his people.
Go ahead.
For the life of the flesh is in the blood.
The life of the what?
The life of the flesh
is in the what?
Is in the blood.
What else?
And I've given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls.
And make a what for your souls?
To make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that make an atonement.
It's the what that make an atonement?
It is the blood that
and the life of the flesh is in the what?
Blood.
So when he tell you that if you don't believe, you shall die in your sins if you believe not that I am he. And he said that he is the atonement or the kafar through faith in his blood. Because what do you have faith in? His flesh. What do you have faith in? His atonement or his covering of the sin. And you have the confidence or the steadfastness in that based off what's written. You know what I'm talking about? This ain't got nothing to do with discarding anything. Read verse 25, Romans 3. Because you just read 24, didn't you? Go ahead.
Say, whom Elohim has set forth to be a propitiation through faith in his blood, to declare his righteousness for the remission of sins that are past.
To declare, he said he made him the atonement through his what?
Faith in his blood.
Through the Amunah in his Dam.
To declare his righteousness.
So that you can declare his Zadah for the remission of sins. So you're declaring that through faith. Continue.
Sins that are past through the forbearance of Elohim.
Notice he say past, not present or future. Because people make you believe that this man's sacrifice was for the forgiveness of sins, present and future. No, that's not what he said. He said this is for the remission of sins and the forbearance of sins that are what?
That are past. The forbearance of Elohim.
That's why he said if should we sin, since we are under grace, should we sin? God forbid. That's why he's making that statement. See, people take Paul's letters and make it seem like he's saying this man died for past, present, and future sins. That man never said that. He never said that. People made that up. And then he get blamed for it. Continue.
To declare, I say, at this time his righteousness, that he might be just, and the justifier of him which believe in Yahushua. Where is boasting then? It is excluded.
See, in the law you can boast. In faith you can't boast. What scripture you talking about, Rohan? Go ahead.
So where's boasting then? It is excluded. By what law? Of works? No, but by the law of faith.
So he's telling you that you boasting in yourself is excluded through faith because you can only boast in God. See, when it's in the law, you can boast in yourself. Where do we see that at? Look at how Job friends came at Job. Look at what Job, let me put this verse out. Hold on. We can look at where you can see Job boasting. And it's quite not, and of course, Job is showing also the differences of the righteousness in the law and the righteousness which is of faith. Because remember, it say Job was righteous in his own eyes. Let me find the passage that I want. Oh, died for past sin. Oh, I mean, that's what Paul just referenced in Romans 3.
Yeah,
so verse 25. So what do we look at in the text where we see where there's sacrifices for sin? You know what I'm talking about? Now, when we sit back and we look at it, right, they broken the covenant. So when he say, I'm going to make a new covenant with you, not according to the covenant that I made with your fathers, which covenant they break. So, and then he said, of course, with this covenant, I will remember your sins and iniquities no more. So obviously, this is letting us know that there's a sacrifice that is going to come to blot out all the sins that we done did. Not just individually, but as a people. You know what I'm talking about? For him to make a new covenant, because he's going to have to cover them sins. Read that from Jeremiah 31 and 30. Well, I find what I'm looking for. And I just found it. Go ahead.
He said, but everyone shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eat the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge.
That's not Jeremiah 31 and 30.
That's 31. That's verse 30.
Oh, that should be it. That don't sound right. Oh, that's because of two. Yeah, but 31 actually. My bad. 31 and 31. My apologies.
He said, behold, the days come, saith Yahuah, that I'll make a new covenant with the house of Yasharal and with the house of Yehudah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. It's my covenant they break. Although I was a husband unto them, saith Yahuah. But this shall be the covenant that I'll make with the house of Yasharal. After those days, saith Yahuah, I'll put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. They shall teach no more every man his neighbor, every man his brother, saying, know Yahuah.
They also know me.
From the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahuah. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I'll remember their sin no more.
Now, he said, I remember they sin no more. Now come over here to Isaiah 43 and make it verse 24. You could make it 22, and he gonna say the same thing along them lines.
But you have not called upon me, O Jacob.
You ain't called me.
But you have been weary of me, O Yasharal.
What else?
You have not brought me the small cattle of your burnt offerings, neither have you honored me with your sacrifices. I have not caused you to serve with an offering, nor wearied you with incense.
Hold on, he said, I haven't caused you to serve with a what?
To serve with an offering.
So listen, if he ain't caused you to serve with an offering, that means that's something he ain't never want. He said, I've not caused you to serve me with that. Continue.
So you have bought me.
Hold on, because we should remember the sacrifices was in substitution for a debt. Because we talked about that debt 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Or a week ago. How long ago it was? That's a debt. The debt is your life. The animal is being substituted for the debt. Hamashiach comes in to be the surety for that debt. That's why the ransom of a man's life is his riches. Continue.
If you have bought me no sweet cane with money, neither have you filled me with the fat of your sacrifices. You have made me to serve with your sins.
Made me to serve with your sins.
You have wearied me with your iniquity. Even I
am he that what?
Blot out your transgressions
for my own sake.
And will not remember your sins.
If he's not remembering their sins, then mean that's forbearance or forgiveness for past sins. You know what I'm saying? That can't be remembrance for current or future. He said, I won't remember your sins. Read it again, verse 25.
Even I am he that blot out your transgressions for my own sake, and will not remember your sins.
Ain't that what we just read in Jeremiah? Continue.
Say, put me in remembrance, let us plead together, declare you that you may be justified.
Your first father
have sinned,
your teachers have
transgressed against
therefore I have profaned
the princes of the sanctuary,
and I gave Jacob to the what?
Curse.
And Yasharal to the
reproach.
We just talked about him getting given over to the reproach on Wednesday. Gave him over to the curse. Cursed be he that hangeth from a tree, and he became a curse for us who knew no sin. You know what I'm talking about? That's how all this stuff happened, to take away the curse. Or to show forth for yourself to be the kinsman redeemer. I got this right here. Job 31. Let's look at Job justifying himself. And when we say justifying himself, meaning that justifying himself by the deeds of the law. So Jeremiah 31 and 1. Oops. I made a covenant with my eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid? For what portion of Elohim is there from above? And what inheritance of the Almighty from on high? Look at this question that is being asked. What portion of God is there from above? The Ruach HaKadosh. What inheritance is the Almighty from on high? The kingdom of Shamaim. Is not destruction to the wicked and the strange to the workers of iniquity? Do he not see my ways and count all my steps? If I've walked with vanity or if my foot is hasted to deceit, let me be weighed in the balance that Elohim may know my integrity. If my step have turned out of the way and my heart walk after my own eyes, if any blot have cleaved to my eyes, let me sow and another eat, yea, let my offspring be rooted out. If my heart have been deceived by a woman, or if I've laid at wait at my neighbor's door, then let my wife grind unto another, and let others bow down upon her. For this is a heinous crime. Yea, it is iniquity to be punished by the judges, for it is a fire that consumed to destruction, that will root out all my increase. If I did despise the cause of my manservant or my maidservant when they contended with me, what then shall I do when Elohim rise up? When he visit, what shall I answer him? Did he not make he that made me in the womb make him? And did not one fashion us in the womb? If I have withheld the poor from their desire, have called the eyes of the widow to fail, or have eaten my morsel myself alone, and the fathers have not eaten thereof, for from my youth he was brought up with me as with a father, and I've guided her from my mother's womb. If I've seen any perish for want of clothing, or any poor without covering, if his loins have not blessed me, if he were not warm with the fleece of my sheep, if I have lifted up my hand against the fathers when I saw my help in the gate, to let my arm fall from my shoulder blade, my arm be broken from the bone, for destruction from Elohim was a terror to me, and by reason of his highness I could not endure. If I've made gold my hope, or if I said to find gold, you are my confidence, if I have rejoiced because my wealth was great and because my hand had gotten so much, if I beheld the sun when it shined, or the moon walking in its brightness, and my heart have been secretly enticed, or my mouth have kissed my hand, this also were iniquity to be punished by the judge, for I should have denied Elohim that is above. If I rejoice at the destruction of him that hated me, or lifted up myself when evil found me, neither have I suffered my mouth to sin by wishing a curse to his soul. If the men of my tabernacle said not, oh, that we had of his flesh, we cannot be satisfied. The stranger did not lodge in the street, but I opened my doors to the traveler. If I covered my transgression as Adam, by hiding my iniquity in my bosom, did I fear a great multitude, or did the contempt of families terrify me, that I kept silence and went not out the door? Oh, that one would hear me. Behold, my desire is that the Almighty would answer me, and that my adversary had written a book. Surely I would take it upon me, my shoulder, and bind it as a crown to me. And then when we read verse 1 of chapter 32, so these three men ceased to answer Job because he was righteous in his own eyes. You know what I'm talking about? And that's where you get the juxtaposition of the righteousness which is of faith and the righteousness which is of the law. Go to Romans 4:1, and this is where this statement is validated.
What shall we say then that Abraham our father, as pertaining to the flesh, hath found? For if Abraham were justified by works, he had whereof to esteem, but not before Elohim.
He said he would have whereof to what?
To esteem.
Let me ask you a question. See, ain't that what Job was borderline doing? Okay, go ahead.
You say, for what saith the scripture? Abraham believed Elohim, and it was counted unto him for righteousness. Mm-hmm. Now to him that work is a reward not reckoned of grace, but of debt. But to him that work not, but believe on him that justified the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness. Even as David also described the blessedness of the man unto whom Elohim impute righteousness.
That's Psalms 32.
Without works. Same Baruch are they whose iniquities are forgiven and whose sins are covered. Baruch is a man to whom the Lord will not impute sin. Come this blessedness then upon the circumcision only, or upon the uncircumcision also?
What else?
For we say that faith was reckoned to Abraham for righteousness. How was it then reckoned, when he was in circumcision or in uncircumcision? Oh, not in circumcision, but in uncircumcision.
This is why you see people saying that Paul, like he telling people not to be circumcised, because he telling you Abraham was justified with God and he was uncircumcised. So it's not the issue of circumcision. Circumcision ain't gonna get you saved. Circumcision don't mean you righteous. That was his point, because that's what people were telling people at the time. Continue.
He received the sign of circumcision, a seal of the righteousness of the faith which he had yet, being uncircumcised, that he might be the father of all them that believe, though they be not circumcised, that righteousness might be imputed unto them also. And the father of circumcision to them who are not of the circumcision only, but who also walk in the steps of that faith of our father Abraham, which he had, being yet uncircumcised.
Go ahead.
And say, for the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but
not through the who?
Say not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith.
Now pause. Read that part again. Which is basically what's being communicated in Ezekiel 16. And we could tie that to when in Deuteronomy 32, what he about to say about them in Ezekiel 16, when he said, Yeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Now, I know we in Psalms 19 and we got to tie stuff into Genesis 1, so bear with me. We got a little time. Go ahead. Because it's winter time. So we ain't starting at 9.
To say, for the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. So
did he ever, and I had a conversation with somebody about this about a few weeks ago. Did he ever promise Abraham a law? No. Was Abraham declared righteous by God because of the law? No. You can't read that. Isaac was declared righteous without the law. What law you say, oh, he did? No, you can't read that, blood. You can't read that about Jacob. It's not there. Does that mean they didn't have a law? No, that's not what that means. Read that verse again. What you use to make the devil? I don't know what you use to make them. You know what they use to make the devil? Why they call it devil?
I couldn't tell you.
Why they call him deviled eggs? Why this nigga get an egg? Why they ain't got the eggs? Go ahead.
He said, for the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law.
That's like my phone knew it without him.
But through the righteousness of faith. It's listening.
It's listening. They say they call devil eggs because the term devil historically meant highly seasoned or spicy. Like with mustard, pepper, or paprika, referencing the fiery heat of the devil or hell. Well then. A culinary trend from 18th century Britain. It refers to the piquant filling, not anything truly demonic, though some churches of potluck use the terms like stuffed eggs to avoid the word. It became a culinary adjective in the 1700s. The dishes with strong fiery seasonings, much like devil sauce or deviled ham. Damn, you niggas ever had deviled ham? I never heard of that before. The name stems from the spicy ingredients like mustard, cayenne, and pepper mixed into the yolk, giving a devilish kick. You got some cayenne in there? You don't like no cayenne? But it ain't no deviled egg if it ain't spicy though. Man, they say the cayenne good for your blood pressure. She said, "Nah, I'm sitting here wanting a deviled egg." My God, today. Oh, Sister Jenny said, I haven't had a little devil on the can. Well, you know, we were talking about that the other day. This nigga say he eat greens in a can. Do you niggas eat greens in a can? I feel like that's an abomination. No, they talking about, we were messing with him, right? Because one day that nigga was off mute. That nigga tell his wife to go get him a rodeo burger. Niggas didn't know what's on the rodeo burger. Y'all know what's on the rodeo burger? Yeah, you know what come on the rodeo burger? Bacon. That's what come on the rodeo burger. So nigga like this here, boy, you eating pork, boy? Nigga like, hell no. Man, you know my wife know how to get that. I could give you that, because if your old lady know you and you ask for a rodeo burger, she know you don't eat pork, you ain't got to tell her don't get no bacon on it, because she would already know that. You know what I'm saying? He been with this woman a long time. But man, we were talking about greens. That nigga say, I eat greens. Y'all niggas eat greens with pork. Then this nigga told us he eat greens in the can. I say greens in the can? Man, the only time I ever seen greens in the can was when I was in prison. You know what I'm talking about? You in the free world eating greens in a can?
What's them canned goods, man?
Bruh, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. If I was with any woman and I seen her pop out a can, talking about she finna make some greens, but that woman ain't never gonna see me again in life, man. I'm talking about family members and all, bro. Greens in the can is an abomination. You know what I'm talking about? We from the South, man. You mean to tell me you just couldn't go and get your own greens and cook them? You made them out the can? I'll give you greens in a bag before I give you greens in the can.
So the cans was cheap, man.
Man, they were messing with him, told the nigga them cans had pork in them. That's what he was eating, them glory greens. That's what he was eating. I couldn't remember the name. They ain't eating no glory greens, bro. Greens in a can, my nigga. There's a lot of foods you can eat in a can, man. Beans. I wouldn't eat beans in a can if you could avoid it, only for one reason, because if you're watching your sodium, the sodium content can be high. You gotta make sure you get the low sodium beans. But some people don't want the low sodium beans because they don't taste good. Of course, if you got the beans in the bag, you can do what you want to with them. You know what I'm saying? That's only if you're watching your sodium. If you're watching your sodium, it don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? If you want green beans in the can, I don't think you should get tomatoes in the can unless you're making it like a yeah, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. I only say that because they put all that preservatives in that crap. You know what I'm saying? He said, I just bought some what's that?
What company you find out put preservatives in certain cans?
Oh, I don't doubt that.
That's why people want them, because they got long shelf life.
Long shelf life, huh? I'd be scared.
They have a long shelf life because of how they have to make it. You ain't ever seen nobody can something before, even if it's in a glass, you have to boil it at a high temperature. Man, you know how many niggas out there, man? They niggas ain't got no food in no glass. Niggas poor. That's how people used to preserve food. I don't doubt that, but ain't no niggas on the south side of Zone 3 where had no food like that. Right, because they started going to the store to get it. Okay, that's because you've been up there in the country with them niggas in Georgia and you seen that junk. Nigga, I was in Zone 3. Them niggas wasn't doing none of that. I'm doing what you do. I'm just teaching you. And we just learned something new, because I ain't never seen a nigga in all my days with a glass bottle of nothing. Man, them niggas had cans. That's what they still call it. They call it canning. Yeah, no, but they ain't had the cannon that you talking about. We talking about cans. I need a can opener. Yeah, they started the aluminum, but nigga gonna die this whole. You know what I'm talking about?
You need a can opener.
So you just bought some Calabo because I refuse to eat spinach on Christmas morning. I don't celebrate it, but I'd be damned if I'm not gonna have a traditional Jamaican breakfast because of Santa. I heard that. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about because I ain't Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? If I was Jamaican, I'd have on a Jamaican hat. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you know that movie. You know what I'm saying? He said, man, what part of Jamaica you from? Right by the beach. If I wasn't Jamaican, why would I have this hot? Hey, man. Eventually, I'm going to watch this nigga comedy special, but Saturday's football, Sunday's football, Monday's wrestling and football. So, Lord spare my life, it had to be Tuesday. That's why we ain't seen part 2, 3, or 4 of Diddy's documentary, and the fact that I don't have an overwhelming desire to see it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't have an overwhelming desire to see this nigga. But I did see a nigga do a skit talking about your man's Lil Rod. That nigga say, boy, how you wake up with your butt sore and you stayed there? Because, man, I'm not going to lie to you, man. If I was to wake up anywhere and my anus was sore, somebody in there going to die. You know what I'm talking about? You might have not even been the person who did it. But, boy, I promise to you, boy, for sure the day I was born, somebody died in here, boy. Because I need to know why my butt hurt. Because I went to sleep and my butt didn't hurt. Not that it even hurt. That boy said it's sore. Oh, no. You know what I'm talking about? And then it's sore and you came back. And then it was sore again and you returned again. Boy, you were woke, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? And Kalau is a Jamaican green that people eat in places. I didn't know that. Spinach good for your body. Cooked spinach ain't good, though. That's not slimy. Rather just eat it raw. You know what I'm saying? Nah, for real. Why are you shaking your head? You like cooked spinach? See, that's not a ringing endorsement. I'll eat it, but if you be like, yeah, cook me some spinach. Yeah, just serve it in a salad. Because every spinach I done had, that junk slimy, man. That junk don't be like greens. I ain't never even said, because boy, if a nigga cook you some slimy greens, that nigga trash. You had some slimy greens before? Doris cook greens for you? How Doris know how to cook greens? She from New York. They don't eat greens up there, do
it? They've been teaching.
She eating mustard greens or collard greens? What you be making? Collard, that nigga be making mustard greens. I'm lying, I don't know the difference. Come on with it.
It was mustard, you would know.
Yeah, mustard greens a little bit spicy.
I'm just talking. I wouldn't know. I would just be on that. I definitely don't know. Now, greens should never be slimy. People can't cook. There's a lot of people out here can't cook. Oh yeah, they've been married for a while, man. Shoot, she finna have a swole head baby. Both of them ain't got no big head, so she should be all right. You say you got some salish and aki. I don't know nothing about all that. You say, is it pronounced Kalaloo? Shoot, Rohan have to answer that because I don't know. I only know that little funny head white boy. What his name is on the cartoon? The children ain't supposed to watch. You know what I'm talking about? Name sound familiar to what he just said.
Caillou?
Yeah, that's the only one. I don't know much about Jamaican food, honestly though.
You still going in Romans 4?
Yeah, we good in that. Actually, you can finish Romans 3 though. Yeah, I don't know much about Jamaican food. I don't even outside of Jamaican beef patties, man, and rice and peas. That's about as far as it goes. I ain't never hit Jamaican spots like that because I don't like oxtails like that. Ain't enough flesh on them oxtails. Y'all niggas like food like this here, man. There ain't enough protein on that there to be fighting with this damn food, man. That's why I ain't never really cared for shrimp like that. Unless my mama put it in spaghetti. You gotta eat a lot of that.
You do.
Then you need to get some cocktail sauce. Man, Fat Boy something in a video, some dude at work eating a hot dog. You like, damn, niggas can't even eat a hot dog no more. I wish a nigga would be like, oh, that nigga eating the glizzy. I'm gonna eat that joint right in your goddamn face. So live, nigga, and I'm hungry. I paid for it. Now I did see a video where these dudes had a hot dog about this long. And it wasn't the fact that the hot dog was this long, it's the fact that they were both holding it and eating it from the opposite ends of the hot dog. Like, what y'all gonna meet in the middle and kiss, my nigga? I'm not doing that now. We could have just cut the hot dog in half. You know what I'm saying? That's too much. It says it's bad when you take someone's family recipe and it's trash. Like you've been suffering for generations. Shoot, they might enjoy that food. They might have felt like it was good. You say it's some meaty oxtails at the fresh market or Mexican market. I ain't going through all that. You talking about what, man? I ain't breaking my neck for no cowtail. It ain't that serious. Say fried shrimp with the cocktail sauce, but the only seafood I mean, my mom, they people come from Louisiana, they incorporate shrimp and everything. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's what them niggas do. But yeah, she used to drop the shrimp in the spaghetti. We had gumbo a time or two. But yeah, man. Now I used to eat a lot of shrimp. I ain't never eaten no lobster. That lobster and crab, again, that's too much work for a little bit of flesh. And your fingers finna be stank. Oh, I ain't never had no crawfish.
Crawfish is too much work for a little meat.
Yeah, I ain't never had no crawfish. I ain't dilly dallying. She said, "Don't ruin." I can't ruin oxtail for you, too. That's just me. That's why I told you. That's why I don't eat like chicken wings like that, because it's not enough protein on that for me, man. And I'm talking about that was like this before working out. Like I don't want to have something where I have to eat a lot of it. You know what I'm saying?
You need a good amount of oxtail.
Yeah, I don't care for all that. Oh, you talking about berry? Okay. Yeah, I don't want to do all that. Not kangaroo tail. Say conch was probably the best seafood I had. I ain't never had that either. You know what I'm saying? The girl I went to school with, she down there, Lauderdale way. She got a food truck. She sell conch salad all the time. She posts that junk all the time. When she be out wherever, she be out on her food truck, popping people off. Where you at in Romans 3, though?
Verse 28.
Do it.
Say, therefore, we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law.
And we've referenced that you can be righteous with God through faith without the deeds of the law. But listen to what he said after that.
Is he the Elohim of the Yahuah? Is he not also of the Gentiles? Yes, of the Gentiles also.
Should we?
Seeing it is one Elohim which had justified the circumcision by faith and uncircumcision through faith, do we then make void the law through faith?
God forbid.
Yea, we establish the law.
Tell him what established means. So he said, even with all that we're not making void the law because of this. Say crawfish by the pounds. I went to a fest in Louisiana. It was crazy. Yeah, you know, that's big around there, man. You know what I'm saying? They big on that crawfish around there.
That is histemi. That is to cause or make to stand, to place, to put, to set.
That means we set it and make it stand. You feel me? But people will take that man is not, because where the conundrum come in at is people don't understand that there's a righteousness of the law and there's a righteousness of faith, and that one make you right with God, but the one that make you right with God is how you can be forgiven without doing this. But that doesn't make this, the works of the law, void. That's all he's communicating. That you can be forgiven without this. Because guess what? When David did what he did, it wasn't no works of the law that got him forgiven. That wasn't present. I don't care for no curry goat neither. I don't care for no curry nothing. Will I eat it? Sure. Will I ask for it? Will I actually say, you know what I'd like to purchase with my money? Some curry? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? That's why I told y'all when I used to see them people talking about people go out the country and eat food. I ain't one of them people who be like, I need to try this, and I don't want to try them people food, man. You know what I'm talking about? Because I want to make sure if I ate something, especially if I'm spending my money. Now, if I'm in your country and your people cooking and he say, hey, you should try this, I don't care about that. I'll try that if it's kosher. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem with that. But if you're talking about going somewhere and spending my money on something, I want to know that I like it. Because if I buy some junk, man, and I don't like that junk, I'm going to be mad as hell that I spent my money on some food I cannot eat and I do not like. Shalom, brother Shaul, because I'm going to be mad as hell, man. I ain't not about no food, bro. I'm not finna be walking around here, especially if I done went somewhere and I could work out where I'm at too, and I'm finna be hungry, man, and I done spent my money. Oh, you got to try it. Man, I'm not going to remember this goddamn food 6 months from now. I don't want to try nothing. Yeah, I'm going to go to that country. Let me get a hamburger, cuz. My mom used to be mad about that all the time. Every we go, you get a hamburger. I know they can't mess this up. You can't mess this up. You mess up. It's only one hamburger you can mess up. You know what one hamburger you can mess up? If they using Flanders patties. If they using some Flanders, they gonna mess that up. You know what I mean? Outside of that, nah, bro. I ain't one of them people be like, let me try something new. With my money, nigga, you crazy as hell. I ain't trying nothing new. Man, imagine you go somewhere, you drop $40 on the plate, say that you don't like it. Well, I'm going to be pissed off. And all you want to talk about the experience. How about you experience these $40 back in my pocket? Nigga, that junk gone, nigga. Now, I either got to force myself to eat this or just sit here and be mad. Because I'm still hungry. I got to go somewhere else to get something to eat. Want that. You say, what's the nasty one in the orange box? I don't even know what I read. Shoot, tell them church folk, leave my mama alone. They be acting like it's the first time they had curry chicken every time she cooked, man. For me on too. They'll be all right. Oh, for burgers. No, they is in the orange box. So Liz, I forgot who bought them Flanders burgers one year, man. They ain't mean no harm. They didn't know. Them was the worst beef patties I ever had in my entire life, man. That was the first time I ever had them burgers. That, you know what I'm saying? Them was the worst burgers I ever had, bro. You know how bad that is to make a bad hand? And it wasn't the cook's fault. Just let me be clear on that. This was not the cook's fault. I think they were grilled. That's not their fault. I can't even put that on. That was the quality of the beef patty. The quality of that bovine and those Flanders patties was atrocious. There was no amount of seasoning a person could use to make those burgers pleasant to the palate. It ain't gonna work. He said he was like that with chicken tenders and French fries and Sprite. Yeah, it's got to be safe, man, because I got to make sure I'm satisfied. Now, if you want to buy some food to try, then you can pay for it. But if I'm gonna pay for it, I'm gonna make sure I get something I know I'm gonna like. Bump that junk. What you talking about? That junk sound good. I got to try it. I don't want to try nothing about nothing. I don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't eat for experience, nigga. I eat to live. You want to have an experience, nigga? Go meet God. Experience that. I don't want to experience food, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I know some people are foodies, and that's their thing. That's different if that's your thing. That's not my thing. The only thing that I'm into is trying local restaurants, man. And I'm still gonna get something. Okay, you sell salmon? I'll get that. You know what I'm saying? You sell, you know what I'm saying? It's something I done had before in my lifetime. I'm not finna go nowhere and order something I ain't never had before. I ain't saying it's nasty, but I'm not finna do it. Not that I gotta pay for it. No. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Nigga work too hard, man. Nigga, we was just in a house that was burnt down. You know what I'm talking about? You imagine like this here, man, you know you was in a house been burnt down, you throwing away trash, and you spent $40 on some junk and you ain't like it. That's always gonna flash back in your mind, man. I was in this damn house and I wasted $40. That was equal to 2 hours of my time for this. I can't get them 2 hours back. Come on, Steve.
We'll go around this.
This nigga here crazy. He's talking about salmon. I don't talk like that. You know she from Georgia. Mm-hmm. Let's go to Ezekiel 16. We'll come back to Genesis 1 and Psalms 19 in a minute. No Mika from Georgia. When she said that one now. She said it ain't salmon, it's salmon. Yeah, she from Georgia now. They don't say it like that in Massachusetts, do it?
We say salmon.
Salmon. You heard how he said that? Mm-hmm. Sound like he said salmon. You know about Sammy Dread? You don't know about that, though. Well, if you from Jacksonville, Florida, man, you know, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat, man, if you know about Sammy Dread. If you know about Sammy Dread, then you old as hell. You know about Sammy Dread, boo? See, she ain't old. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, if you from Jacksonville, Florida, you know about Sammy Dread, man. Say some good salmon croquette. Boop used to make that. She ain't made that in a while. I think I ain't never had that till she made it. My mom ain't never made that, I don't think. Maybe she did and I just don't remember. I definitely don't recall it.
I don't think she did because she did too much care.
Yeah, that's why I say I don't recall it. See, if you offer me salmon, I'm going to pass. If you offer me salmon, I'm going to dive in. Oh, man, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. I ain't gonna lie. I'm going. You know what I'm saying? I eat it, but you know, one thing about salmon, man, you know that junk got a particular type of taste, and if you eat that junk too much, that junk make me physically sick. That's a fish. I can't eat that fish every day. Yeah, ain't nobody. So nobody don't know Sammy Dread. I'm gonna keep that in the closet like Michael Jackson, man. Come on with it, man. We started in verse 6 of Ezekiel 16.
It said, when I passed by you and saw you polluted in your own blood, I said unto you, when you was in your blood, live.
We talked about that Wednesday.
When you was in your blood, live.
Come on.
I have caused you to multiply as the bud of the field, and you have increased in wax and grape. You are come to excellent ornaments. Your breasts are fashioned. Your hair is grown, whereas you was naked and bare.
So you got to smoke them. I don't care if you smoke them, grill them, saute them. I can't eat that every day. I can eat it, but I can't eat it every day.
Say now, when I passed by you and looked upon you, behold, your time was the time of love. And I spread my skirt over you and covered your nakedness.
Now, we talked about that Wednesday. He covered your sins in the time of love, because greater love has no man of this, that a man lay his life down for his friend. And Elohim so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. And there's a love that stick closer than a brother. Yeah, it's not the highest cooked. It's just I can't eat salmon every day because that junk got a particular taste to it. You know what I'm talking about? An aftertaste, if you would, that if you eat that junk too often, that junk gonna make you physically sick. In my opinion, I know it make me physically sick. You know, sometimes you gotta salmon just easier to purchase. You know, get you some tuna steaks. You know what I'm saying? Look just like filet mignon. You know what I'm talking about? Some bass. You know, my mama made whiting all the time. You know what I'm saying? She didn't really cook salmon like that in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like salmon cocaine. Like my mama ain't never made no salmon cocaine grits. Not that I can recall. Yeah, that's what it says. You said my mama ain't really care for it. My mama ain't make that. Yeah, she didn't make that. Now I can say bit by bit, like Boot recreated them wraps that we get from So Fresh, so I can deal with that because it's not loaded with salmon. You know what I'm saying? It's salmon, quinoa, spinach, apples. You know what I'm saying? Eggs. But yeah, you know what I mean. We don't get off on that. But I don't eat grits, so there's that. Them niggas in prison used to love me, boy. Let me buy you grits. You can get them old, boy. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? I do not want that, man. You know what I'm saying? My mama did make grits. I ain't eat them. I don't want that. I don't care for them. Yeah, you know what I mean? Nah, I don't go get the snapper fried. I didn't have some roasted or grilled snapper because you know I don't eat that fried food like that. But yeah, grouper and snap. You know, Monte, no, because Monte is a fish guy. You know, there are a lot, you know, mahi, there's all types of fish, man. You know what I'm saying? Niggas just eat salmon and whiting. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, spread that joint out. You Paul, you know what I'm saying? Spread that some good fish out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Make you reevaluate your whole life. Now I literally eat fish every day, but it's expensive. You know what I'm saying? Somebody eating fish every day. Now I never cared for catfish. That junk was disgusting. That junk had an aftertaste. You know what I'm saying? Then when I found out catfish had a menstrual cycle, I felt like maybe that's what a nigga was eating. So, yes, catfish has a menstrual cycle. I mean, cows have a menstrual cycle if it's a female cow. Yeah, unfortunately for you, yours is about to begin the process for you. And your whole life is going to change from that moment forward. And you won't be a baby anymore. Go ahead. So you got to have the grits, but I love a good flounder. I forgot about that because my mama did make a lot of cod. And she did make flounder from time to time. She did make a lot of codfish, though. Tilapia is just a no. Just no. Just don't do it. Not because of the people that say it's just a teat fish. It's better fish than that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you poke, you're down bad. Yeah. But if you have a choice, pass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just pass. Yeah, definitely tuna steak and mahi are very reliable fish. You know what I'm saying? Very reliable. Say tilapia tastes like straight dirt. You say you kept eating catfish on their rag. Who you tell? Nah, it just made me look at it different when I got older and I found that out. I was like, damn. Because, you know, my mama them from Louisiana, so. What's crazy, I don't think my mama lived in Louisiana. You know, her parents were from Louisiana. I don't even think my mama even actually ever lived in Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? I think she only lived on the West Coast. My uncle lived in Louisiana, but I don't think her and my auntie ever actually lived there. Say you clean pork chop for 5 days and that junk still tasted nasty. I hated the poverty of college life. My sister thought it was a dream come true how it tasted. I didn't care for pork like that either after a while. I stopped eating pork when I was 16 and just started getting disgusted to me. Did she cook crawfish? My mama never cooked no crawfish. I don't think Chandra cooked none either. I don't think my auntie cooked none either. You ate crawfish? I say them not living in Louisiana like that, just visiting is probably why she never probably got into crawfish like that. Because they were living in California. You know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't eating no crawfish in Cali. You was up there eating some clam chowder.
No, that was never my thing.
Look, I used to love that. Like it white and creamy, huh? Nasty nigga. Tuna steak is amazing because you can literally cook it medium and season. Yeah, it's just like a steak. You know what I'm saying? It's fish steak. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, say always. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, tuna steak is phenomenal. Like I said, you can make it medium well. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got. I wouldn't make a tuna steak well done because I ain't gonna lie. Now, if somebody's good enough with a steak, they can make it well done, and it's not tough. But boy, tuna steak hard to eat, boy. If that junk well done, I'm trying to tell you. But you can get away with. I mean, if you eat sushi, I don't know why you'd be appalled. You know what I'm talking about? I've never had sushi though.
That's what I do, man.
I mean, you can still eat sushi.
Yeah, that is sushi, but that doggone volcano roll.
I don't know what that is. In the Delta, we ate all that, every part of the hog, every type of water. I know that's right. I already know. So you can make a well done tuna steak, spicy tuna roll. Yeah, I mean, shoot. As my mama started, expanding her culinary skills, she moved away from making well done steaks. You know what I'm saying? Now it's amazing because now it's a whole bunch of black people who don't eat well done steaks. And I can remember a time period where black folks would be appalled if you said your steak wasn't well done. They would just be disgusted.
She just fried on the side 2 minutes.
And it's not, now as black folks look at you crazy. You eat well done steak? What's wrong with you? That's wild how time beats. Because I remember a time, boy, if you ate a medium well steak, you was like, what's wrong with you? You eating blood. Granted, there's no blood in that steak, so the blood is already gone. Anybody who tell you eating blood if you're not eating a well done steak, man, they're very misinformed. All the blood is drained out the animal before they package it. At least they're supposed to. So that's why they got stomach issues now, years of eating cow half alive. Oh, man. Shoot, we about to find out because that's what black folks on now. So they bring out your inner vampire. Oh, Lord. I don't really eat steak like that. Go ahead.
Say, now when I passed by you and looked upon you, behold, your time was a time of love. And I spread my skirt over you.
Ezekiel 16:8.
And covered your nakedness. Yea, I swear unto you, and entered into a covenant with you, saith Yahuah Elohim, and you became mine.
What he did?
Then washed I you with water.
What else you did?
Yea, I thoroughly washed away the blood from you, and I anointed you with oil.
Pause. Now we talk about that. This is baptism and the giving of the Ruach HaKodesh that he's referencing. Because he's looking at you, I've covered your nakedness. That's the atonement of Mashiach, which he's the propitiation through faith in his blood, and therefore he have walked. Oh, come on, Ezekiel 30 what? Yeah, 21. Let me see. Run it down. Oh, it's 13. It's 13. No, that's not it. It's 11. Let me Ezekiel 11. It was really 36. But I want you to read 11 and 17 or 16. Then we can read Ezekiel 36. Ezekiel 11 and 16.
Therefore say, thus saith Yahuah Elohim, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come. Therefore say, thus saith Yahuah Elohim, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of the countries where you have been scattered.
All right.
And I will give you the land of Yasharal.
Listen.
They shall come there, they shall take away all the detestable things thereof and all the abominations thereof from thence. I'll give them one heart. I'll put a new spirit within you.
And
take the stony heart out of their flesh.
And we'll do what?
And we'll give them a heart of flesh.
That's right.
That they may walk in my statutes and keep my ordinances.
That's right.
And do them. They shall be my people.
And I will
be their Elohim.
Ezekiel 36 and 24. This is where the water come in at. Then Romans 6 and 1.
For I'll take you from among the heathen and will gather you out of all countries and will bring you into their own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you. You shall be clean from all your filthiness, from all your idols.
I'll sprinkle what on you?
Clean water upon you. You shall be clean.
You shall be clean. Go ahead.
Say, a new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and will give you a heart of flesh. Now I'll put my rock within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you shall keep my judgments and do them.
Now come on back.
6 and 1.
6 and 1.
What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
God forbid.
How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein?
Any longer therein.
Know you not that so many of us as were baptized in the Yahuah Mashiach were baptized into his death? Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as a Mashiach was raised up from the dead by the esteem of the Abba, even so we also should walk in newness of life.
Newness of life, baby. Now you see how that worked? You see how that works? Let's come back over here to Ezekiel 16 and 9.
Then washed I you with water, yea, I thoroughly washed away your blood from you, and I anointed you with oil. I clothed you also with broidered work, and shod you with badger skin, and I girded you about with fine linen, and I covered you with silk. I decked you also with ornaments. I put bracelets upon your hands and a chain on your neck.
Go to Deuteronomy 32 and 10. Definitely very good at that. Glory greens and rodeo burgers is definitely some dastardly work.
So he found him in a desert land, and in the waste howling wilderness, he led him about. He instructed him. He kept him as the apple of his eye.
What else?
As an eagle stir up her nest, flutter over her young, spread abroad her wings. Take them, bear them on her wings. So Yahuah alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him.
But what happened?
He made him ride on the high places of the Arats, that he might eat the increase of the fields, and he made him to suck honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flinty rock.
Out of the flinty rock.
Butter of kine and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs, and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the fat of kidneys of wheat. You did drink the pure blood of the grape, but Yeshurun waxed fat and kicked.
Yeshurun waxed fat and what?
And kicked. You are waxing fat. You are grown thick. You are covered with fatness. Then he forsook Elohim, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation.
That boy said, don't get me started. I'm about to thaw this overnight and marinate this tuna steak. Marinate in. Tuna steak is fabulous. You get the benefits of what you'll get from the omega-3 from the salmon. Then on top of that, with that tuna steak, you get naturally occurring creatine. You know what I'm saying? A good protein content can't go wrong with low-calorie programs for protein. You know what I'm saying? It's a win-win. And usually when you eat fish, the sides ain't going to be heavy carbs anyway, because heavy carbs in fish don't really work, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, black people do what you like. I'm going to put salmon steaks on my forget to be grocery list. That's what I see why that. Come on, man. So I just want you to hear that of what he got going on, that they wax fat and kick with the things that they got. What verse did you stop in Ezekiel 16? I'm going to probably revert back to Psalms 19 and Genesis 1, because he about to get to talking about how Israel is a whore. And I'm not ready to venture down that road about Israel being a whore quite yet.
Verse 11.
This is Ezekiel 16 and 11.
I decked you also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon your hands and a chain on your neck.
And I put
a jewel on your forehead,
earrings in your
ears,
beautiful crown
upon your head,
that you were decked with what?
With gold and silver, and your raiment was a fine linen,
silk,
embroidered work.
You did eat
fine flour,
honey,
and oil.
You was exceeding
beautiful,
did prosper
into a kingdom,
and your renown
went forth among the heathen for your beauty.
It was perfect
through my comeliness.
It was perfect through whose comeliness?
My comeliness.
Okay, which I had. Who did what?
Put upon you.
Say it who?
Yahuah Elohim.
But you did what?
Trust in your own beauty.
See, that's what Ezekiel 33 coming in at. You done trusted in your own righteousness, just like what we read in Job 31. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get justified in your own eyes. Continue.
And played the harlot because of your renown, and poured out your fornications on everyone that passed by.
His it was.
And of your garments you did take, and decked your high places with diverse colors.
And you played the harlot.
Thereupon, like the thing shall not come, neither shall it be so.
You've also taken your what?
Your fair jewels of my gold and of my silver, which I had given you.
And you made yourself what?
Images of men.
And did commit
whoredoms with them.
And took your what?
Embroidered garments.
Now, we just read what he said. You took your gold and your silver that I gave you. We read that in Exodus 32. Because they took that gold and the silver that they got from spoiling the Egyptians, and they made a golden calf with it. Come on with it.
And covered them, and you have set my oil and my incense before them. My meat also, which I gave you, fine flour, oil, and honey, wherewith I fed you. You have even set it before them for a sweet savor.
Oh.
And thus it was, saith Yahuah Elohim.
Moreover,
you have taken your sons and your daughters, whom you have borne unto me, and these have you sacrificed unto them to be devoured. Is this of your whoredoms a small matter?
And you have slain my children and delivered them,
to cause them to pass through the fire for
and
them.
In all your abominations.
In your whoredoms, you have not remembered the days of your youth.
And when you was what?
Naked and bare.
And polluted. You say you forgot you was in your sin. James chapter 1, verse 17. Epistle of James chapter 1, verse 17. My God, today.
Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and come down from the Abba of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. For the wrath of man work not the righteousness of Elohim. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted
which
word,
is able
to save your souls.
What else?
But be you doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves.
Deceiving your own self.
For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he behold himself and go his way, and straightway forget what manner of man he was.
Straightway forget what manner of man he was.
But whoso look into the perfect law of liberty and continue therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be baruched in his deed.
Blessed in his deed. And what are we taking this from? But what we just read in Ezekiel 16, that man said, you done forgot what manner of man you was. You know what I'm talking about? Because he just told you you was naked and bare and polluted in your blood. You forgot. Come on back to the Ezekiel 16 and 23.
And it came to pass after all your wickedness, woe unto you, saith Yahuah Elohim, that you have also built unto you an eminent place, and have made you a high place in every street. You have built your high place at every head of the way, and have made your beauty to be abhorred, and have
opened your feet
to everyone that passed by, and multiplied your whoredoms.
And you committed also
fornication with the Egyptians,
and your neighbors,
great of flesh,
have increased your what?
Whoredoms,
to provoke me to what?
Anger.
Behold,
therefore I have stretched out my hand over you,
and have diminished your ordinary
food,
and delivered you what?
Unto the will of them that hate you.
The daughters
of the Philistines, which are ashamed.
That take us back to what we read in Ezekiel 5 about you being delivered to the Gentiles. You know what I'm saying? Continue. And you have played the whore with who?
Also with the Assyrians.
Because you were what?
Unsatiable.
And you played the harlot with them.
And yet cannot be satisfied.
And you moreover multiplied
your fornication in the land of Canaan.
Under who?
Chaldea.
And you was what?
Not satisfied here.
And that man said, how weak
is your heart?
Say of who?
Yahuah Elohim.
That you do all what?
These things.
The work of a what?
Imperious whorish woman.
Tell them what an imperious whorish woman is. Obviously, you know what whorish is, but you know.
Imperious is Shalateth, imperious, domineering, a vixen.
Hold on. Let's see what domineering means. What that mean, man? Some of you boys like dominatrix. That's what you own. You wild for that. You is a different type of freak. Domineering is asserting one's will over another in an arrogant way. So when he said that you was imperious, you were asserting your will in a proud fashion. Whorish.
That is a nod.
That's play the harlot. Whore. You know what I'm saying? Which basically, and also in terms of you unfaithful. So you're arrogantly proud in your unfaithfulness. You know what I'm saying? In the simplest terms, which is actually what's being communicated. Go ahead. And that you what?
Build your eminent place.
This is verse 31 of Ezekiel 16.
In the head of every way, and make your high place in every street. And have not been as a harlot, and that you scorn high.
You say you ain't been like a prostitute. You don't want to get paid. But you've been as a wife to do what?
Commit adultery. Take strangers instead of her husband.
And they give gifts.
To all whores.
But you give your gifts.
To all your lovers.
And get and hire them.
That they may come unto you on every side for your whoredom.
And contrarying you from other women.
And your whoredoms, whereas none follow you.
Ain't nobody even looking to come trick with you.
And in that you give a reward, and no reward is given unto you.
Therefore,
you are contrary.
Tell him what contrary means. That man just told you a stupid hoe. You backwards, huh?
That is effect. That is contrary, opposite, a difference. You are reversed, contrariness, perversity.
Look here, man. You backwards. You backwards. You don't get paid, you pay. We're going to pause on that and we're going to revisit this chapter. We stopped at verse 34. We have verse 35 where we'll pick up at. So that's that's over half the chapter because there's 28 more verses. I told you the chapter long. Let's come back to Psalms 19. Let's read verse 1 more time.
He has declared the esteem of Elohim, and the firmament shows handiwork.
Day to day.
Utter speech.
Night to night.
Show knowledge.
There is no what?
Speech nor language where their voice is not heard.
And their line.
That's going out through all their rats, their words to the end of the world. And them have he set a tabernacle for the sun.
So Paul, that man just told you that in the heavens, whether it be at daytime or nighttime, they word go forth. That's what he says here. Let's come back to Genesis chapter 1 and let's see why. 1 and 3.
And Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. And Elohim saw the light, that it was good, and Elohim divided the light from the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day.
Evening and the morning were the first day. So we already talked about that. It's separating life from death. Because in Elohim, there is all light, no part darkness. Notice when the earth was without form and without darkness, the presence and power of God wasn't there. Ain't no darkness with him. The minute he come through, there's light or there's life. Continue.
And Elohim said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters.
To do what?
And let it divide the waters from the waters.
And Elohim made
the firmament and divided the waters which are under the firmament from the waters which are above the firmament.
And it was so.
And Elohim called the firmament Shamaim.
And the evening.
The morning was the second day.
And Elohim said,
let the waters under Shamaim be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. Elohim called the dry Arets, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas.
Go ahead.
Elohim saw that it was good. Elohim said, let the Arets bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed.
And the fruit tree
yielding fruit after its kind.
Whose seed
is in itself upon the Arets.
Now we didn't talk about this. We talked about this tree the other day. So when you sit back and you look at it, this is a fruit tree whose seed is in itself. And it's yielding fruit after his kind. We talked about this. I am the vine, John 15 and 1. Ye are the branches. You also know he said this is going to be built by he whose name is the branch. Go ahead.
I am the true vine, and my Abba is the husbandman. Every branch in me that bear not fruit, he take away. Every branch that bear fruit, he purge it, that it may bring forth more fruit.
This is the fruit yielded. Every tree, remember he said corrupt tree can't bring forth corrupt fruit. So every tree that comes from this tree, because the seed is in itself, the seed is the word. That's why he said he cannot sin, his seed remain in it. You know what I'm talking about? So listen, what did I have in my mind? Go to Jeremiah 23 and 3.
And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries where I have driven them, will bring them again to their folds, that they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them. They shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith Yahuah. Behold, the days come, saith Yahuah, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch. The king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the Arad.
Tell them what branch means.
A samak, sprout, a growth, a branch.
Now, tree is a rest or a rock. So I was saying it wrong. Go get the word tree for me, man. My cognitive ability is departing from me. In verse 11, Genesis 1.
Etz or eights. That is tree.
That's what it is. So listen, you have the etz that's yielding parade or offspring of fruit. And it's after its kind, it's tight. Its zarah or its seed is in itself. You understand? Nothing from this tree that can yield it can be anything different than the tree. So when he said that I am the vine and you are the branches, and there'll be a righteous branch under David that will execute justice and judgment, you know, this tree is representative of the tree of life. Now, I want him to read verse 11 again in Genesis 1. Now, we get into the elements of Psalms 19, which is verses 14, 15, 16, and 17, and 18, are going to speak about a little bit more fluently than the rest of the chapter.
And Elohim said, let the arras bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself.
And the earth did what?
Brought forth grass.
And herb yielding
seed
after its
kind.
The tree yielding
fruit,
whose seed
was in itself
after its
kind.
And Elohim saw
that it was
and now my question is, it says the earth brought forth the grass and the herb yielding seed and the tree yielding fruit. So what does that mean if the earth brought forth this tree? What does that mean? Oprah Winfrey is evil. And here's why. A lot of people have always felt like Oprah Winfrey is evil. What does this mean that the earth has brought forth this tree yielding fruit?
As far as the resurrection of the dead.
The resurrection of the dead. Continue on, Sibit.
In the evening and the morning were the third day. And Elohim said, let there be lights in a firmament of Shamaim to divide the day from the night. Let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. Let them be for lights in a firmament of Shamaim to give light upon the arats. And it was so. And Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also.
Oh, well, stars also. What the stars is, Sibit? That's Kokav. This is the sons of Mashiach. Go ahead.
And Elohim set them in a firmament of Shamaim to give light upon the arats.
Give light upon the earth and to rule over the
day
and to rule over the
night
and to divide the
light from darkness.
And Elohim saw that it was what?
Good.
Notice that he say the stars in heaven was a rule over the day and over the night. So now when you look at what does he mean to rule over the night? What does he mean by all of that? How do you rule over the night? Tell him what night means.
That is La, that is night.
The Layla, night. How you spell it? He don't know, y'all. He can't tell you.
You got Lamad.
That boy been working.
Is that hey, Lamad, Lamad?
Yeah, I tell you.
A lot of Lamads in there.
A lot of Lamads in there.
About 6 of them.
So you got Lamad, Yah, and Lamad. I only got 3 letters here, sir.
Oh, that's because they put the 2 different spellings right next to each other.
They threw them off. So when you sit back and you look at that, the light is rule. The light, 2 great lights. The greater light to rule the day. The lesser light to rule the night. What is the lesser light? When we look at lesser here, that is katan. That's something that is young, small, insignificant, unimportant, or young. So in this instance, it's a young or smaller light in comparison to the Gadol light. Gadol, of course, here is great in importance, or God himself. So you have a lights here is a little different word, compound word of ore, more ore, or light or luminary. Also something they call a chandelier. And of course you have your lesser moire or moire, light or luminary. So what do you think this means? To him that overcomes, power over death. I ain't even look at none of this stuff. I'm sorry. So God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, lesser light to rule the night. What do you think this is pointing to? Greater light to rule the day, lesser light to rule the night. Because you know light excels darkness. That's what it's telling him. Not the 12 days of Christmas. Now, you like the XL? Got a Hyundai XL? This is something I think it's something in Ecclesiastes that I desire as it pertains to this. There it is. Ecclesiastes chapter 2. That's what I want. Give me 2 and 11.
Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of Ruach. There was no profit under the sun. I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the man do that come after the king, even that which have already been done? Then I saw that wisdom excel folly, as far as light excel darkness. Light do what to darkness? Excel darkness. Tell them what excel means. That is Yethron. It reminds me of Paul's statement about the Gospels in Galatians 3. You say Yahuah and Yahushua continue. That is Yethron, advantage, profit, excellency. There's some excellency or an advantage that light has over darkness. What did we talk about? What does darkness mean? Darkness in and of itself means wickedness, right? Or death. So how life excels death, has an advantage over death, is greater than death. He said there's a greater light to rule the night. That's what it said, ain't it? Or a lesser light to rule the night. There's a smaller light that rules the night. And then he said he made what? The stars also. Elohim made 2 great lights, a great light to rule the day, a lesser light to rule the night. The stars also. I want you to come over here to what this is, Philippians 2 and 14. This is for the stars. Now, why is this important? Because you're looking at, he said they utter their voice from day to day. You know what I'm saying? And that there's no place in the earth where their voice isn't heard. He's letting you know, even with the sun rising in the day, the gospel is being preached. And when the moon come out at night, the gospel is being preached. And there's no one under heaven that will ever be able to state that they didn't hear the gospel preached just by reason of the luminaries that are affixed to the firmament in Shamayim. This is what he's telling you now in Psalm 19. Now, we're looking at this from the aspect of Genesis 1, so you can put down what he's talking about. Because remember, all these things are made on the 4th day or in the midst of the week. You know what I'm saying? When you look at everything from day 3 and day 4, it's your Daniel 9 and 27, which, of course, is pertaining to the resurrection of the dead and the birthing of the sons of God. You understand? So when you look at this lesser light to rule the night, or the young to rule the night, you have to remember he said he came to destroy the works of the devil. And he said he came to destroy him that had power over death. That is the devil. Get it for him. Hebrews 2 and what that is. 2 and 7 is sufficient for me at this particular juncture. Hebrews 2 and 7 is sufficient. So you made him a little lower than the Malachim.
Boom. So now when you look at it, he made him a little lower than the what?
Malachim.
So this is these lesser light. Continue.
You crowned him with esteem and honor. You did set him over the works of your hands.
Set him over what?
The works of your hands.
Oh my God.
You have put all things in subjection under his feet. For in that he put all in subjection under him, he left nothing that is not put under him. But now we see not yet all things put under him. But we see Yahushua, who was made a little lower than the Malachim.
A little lower than the Malachim.
For the suffering of death.
For the suffering of what?
Death.
What else?
With esteem and honor, that he, by the grace of Elohim, should taste death
for every man.
For it became him, for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, and bringing many sons into esteem, to make the captain of their salvation
perfect
through suffering.
What else?
For both he has sanctified, and they who are sanctified are all of one.
For which cause?
He is not ashamed to call them brethren.
Go ahead.
Saying, I will declare your name unto my brethren. In the midst of the assembly will I sing praise unto you.
Go ahead.
And again I'll put my trust in him. And again, behold, I and the children which Elohim have given me.
And what else?
For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood,
he likewise
took part of the same,
that through
death
he might destroy
him that had the power of
that
death,
is
the devil.
Pause. So now you see how this lesser light ruled the night. We read it the other day in John 16 and 7, 16 and just get 16 and 10. Because he told you it's expedient for you that I go away. If I don't go, then the comforter can't come.
Say of righteousness because I go to my Abba and you see me no more. Of judgment because the prince of this world is judged.
Judgment because the prince of this world is what?
Is judged.
Once he's judged, he's condemned. Is that what Isaiah 14 and 13? Go get Isaiah 14 and 13.
For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into Shamaim. I'll exalt my throne above the stars of Elohim. I will sit also upon the mountain of the congregation in the sides of the north.
It's a little different. Because in this instance, when we're looking at a greater light to rule the day and a lesser light to rule the night, what we're actually looking at is that a greater light to rule the day is, read me Romans 1:1. This both of them is Yahuah. There's no separate. You know what I'm saying? It's both him. He's the greater light that rules the day and the lesser light that rules the night. He's made the lesser light because he humbled himself and became in the fashion of a man. You know what I'm talking about? Because remember, we talking about in the beginning, he said, let there be what? Light. That word darkness in Hebrew literally refers to death, destruction, and wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Now, one of the definitions of the ore, or the word for light, is literally the light of life. That's why we read the Proverbs 6 and 22 or 24, whichever one it was. You know what I'm talking about? So, and that's why we read light excels darkness, because life excels death. Life has an advantage over death, or Yahuah has an advantage over the adversary. You know what I'm talking about? The Ruach Elohim has an advantage over. Matter of fact, let's take it a step further. The tree of life has an advantage over that. You know what I'm saying? Or the tree of life has an advantage over the tree of knowledge and good and evil. There's an advantage there. But more specifically, life has an advantage over death. It excels it. So when you look at, you have this lesser light to rule the night. Let me come back over here and get the definition of rule. Should be mashal, but you got to double check, because it can be something different. And it's been a long time since I looked at it. And it is not. And this one here is Meshalah, Meme, Shan, Lamad, Hey. And again, that is Meme, Shan, Lamad, and Hey. It's rule, it's dominion. It's the dominion of God, the realm of a ruler. Dominion, government, power to rule. You understand? So this lesser light has power to rule over darkness. You understand? He had power to rule. Case in point, read what you're finna read, then we're going to go to Acts 2.
Romans 1:1.
Romans 1:1. Listen to it.
Paul, a servant of Yahuah HaMashiach, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of Elohim, which he had promised before by his prophets in the Kadash scriptures, concerning his son Yahuah HaMashiach our Lord, which was made of the seed of David, according to the flesh.
According to the flesh.
And declared to be the son of Elohim with power, according to the Ruach of Kadash, by the resurrection from the dead.
According to the what?
To the Ruach of Kadash, by the resurrection
from the dead. By the resurrection of the dead. My God, today. Where my verse at? Come over here to Acts chapter 2. There it is. 2 and 22. So I was thinking the part when he said he was made a little Lord and angels, the sense that he would. No, that exalting his throne above the stars is more so like, but I can see why you would come to that conclusion. Isaiah 45, when he said I'll exalt my throne above thy fellows. You know what I'm talking about? Now, of course, in regards to the suffering of death, but in this instance, we don't want to look at the exalting the throne above the stars, because that's Yahuah. That's more the ruling of the day and not the ruling of the night. You know what I'm saying? Because he's the greater light that rules the day, or he is the great. Remember, he shall be called great and be called the son of the highest. You know what I'm talking about? Now he's ruling over the day, the Malachim of the day, the sons of God born to him of the day. He got rule over them. You know what I'm talking about? Now, when we look at, because that part you are correct. Now, when we look at ruling over the night, that we talking about something different. Because now he ruling over death. He ruling over Satan. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, he said he would bruise your heel and you would step on his head. You know what I mean? Yeah, you just was ahead of yourself on that one. On the ruling of the day, that's 100% accurate. And we focusing on the ruling of the night, because the ruling of the day, that part's simple. Because you know what I'm saying? But Yahuah is both of them. He's the greater light to rule the day and the night. Can we connect it to Peter saying in Jerusalem when Paul ventures out to the Gentiles? In what regard, my G? Come on with it, bud.
Say, you men of Yasharal, hear these words.
Acts 2 and 22.
Yahuah of Nazareth, hear these words. Or Yahuah of Nazareth, a man approved of Elohim among you by miracles and wonders and signs, which Elohim did by him in the midst of you, as you yourselves also know. Him being delivered by the determinate counsel and foreknowledge of Elohim, you have taken, and by wicked hands have crucified and slain. Whom Elohim have raised up, having loosed the pains of death.
It wasn't possible
that he should be holden of it.
And this is how, if it's not possible for death to be holden of it, pause. And Isaiah 22, it makes reference to this. And Yahushua says it in Revelation. He said he got a set of keys, Sivit. What them keys to?
Hell and death.
Hell and death. If he's got the keys to it, guess what that means? He got over it. Dominion and rule. You know what I'm saying? Because Yahushua got rule over death. Because he said he come to judge the quick and the dead. You know what I'm talking about? Let's get that for him, man. Finish what you read.
It said, for David speak concerning him, I foresaw the Lord always before my face, for he is on my right hand, that I should not be moved.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore did my heart rejoice, and my tongue was glad. Moreover also my flesh shall rest in hope.
That you won't.
Leave my soul in hell, neither will you suffer your Kadash one to see
corruption. And because he didn't leave his soul in hell to suffer his Kadash one to see corruption, guess what that means? He ruled over the night. He ruled over that. Say, considering Peter in the Lord's house a greater light. I wouldn't look at that in that fashion. But I can see why you would arrive to that conclusion. As forth as Peter and Paul being, Peter being the greater and Paul being the lesser light. But considering the fact that there's no greater apostle, you know what I'm saying? When we take what the Lord said to his apostles when they were going back and forth about who should be the greatest, you know what I'm saying? That's why that wouldn't fit in that regard, because there is no greater apostle. They all the same. They servants. You know what I'm talking about? Let's read that Matthew 20 real fast and 22 in regards to that. But like I can see how you would look at that as regards to the Gentiles and the Gentile being in darkness by reason of the alienation in their mind and the ignorance that they possess. But when we do that, like making comparison of servant to servant, it's not going to fit, because Peter's not necessarily greater and Paul's not necessarily lesser. Go ahead.
So, but Yahushua answered and said, you know not what you ask. Are you able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? They said unto him, we are able. He said unto them, you shall drink indeed of my cup, to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with, but to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Abba.
That's right.
And when the 10 heard it, they were moved with indignation against the two brethren. But Yahushua called them unto him and said, you know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them. But it should not be so among you. But whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister.
Let him be your servant.
And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant.
Let him be your servant.
Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many.
Yeah, the commissions are not even necessarily greater and lesser in that regard, because both sides of the ledger are in sin. So, and you look at, what advantage have the Jew chiefly in every way that the word come to them first. You know what I'm talking about? But the reward and everything else is pretty much the same. Yeah, pretty much the same. You can get in a sticky situation in that regard, because when we talk about ruling over the night, the Gentiles are not referred to as the night, because darkness in itself, by definition, is death. So this man got rule over death itself, and then him who had power over death. Let's read that Revelation 1 and 17. You can make it 1 and 13 on general principle.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. He had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp two-edged sword. And his countenance was as the sunshine in his strength. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead, and he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me,
what he said?
Fear not, I am the first and the last. I am he that lived and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore.
Yeah. He said, I'm the him that have the alive, and I have the keys of what?
Of hell and of death.
Nah. Go to Isaiah 22, where the reference is originally made. He said, "Give the key of David." Then we go to Luke 1 and 31. Yeah, like I said, I can see why you would arrive to that conclusion, but in that instance, it's not. It's at least in juxtaposition the Genesis 1. It's not. It's not concluding with man with the ruling over the night. You know what I'm saying? Because you got sinners of Israelites and Gentiles alike, but most importantly, him having ruled over death. You know what I mean? Hold on, I ain't got around that yet. Which basically him destroying and stamping out the devil who had power over that. 22 and 22. You can read it and start at verse 20. Revelation 22 and 20.
And it shall come to pass in that day that I will call my servant Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah. I will clothe him with your robe and strengthen him with your girdle. I'll commit your government into his hand. He shall be a father to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and to the house of Yahudah. And the key of the house of David will I lay upon his shoulder.
Oh, the key of the what?
Of the house of David will I lay upon his shoulder. So he shall open, none shall shut. He shall shut, and none shall open.
My God, today. So now I want you to come to what you call it? What I told you to go to? I know, I forgot. Oh, Luke 1 and 30. Praise be to Yahuah. Luke 1 and 30.
And the Malachim said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for you have found favor with Elohim. Behold, you shall conceive in your womb and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahushua. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest.
The Son of the Highest.
And the Lord shall give unto him the throne of his father David.
He shall be what?
He shall be great.
And he shall be called the who?
The Son of the Highest. And the Lord Elohim shall give unto him the throne of his father David.
Throne of his father David. That's that key. What else?
He shall reign over the house of Jacob forever.
He'll reign over who?
The house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end.
Now go to Philippians 2 and 15.
That you may be blameless and harmless, the sons of Elohim,
shining
without rebuke in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom you shine as lights in the world.
Now, if they shining as lights in the world, when we come back to Genesis 1 and 14, he said, let there be lights in the firmament, set lights in heaven to divide the day from the night. So these lights are to separate life from death. Go to 1 Thessalonians 5 and 1. Remember, we read John 8 and 12, that those that are in darkness, those that are in the light don't walk in darkness, or they don't walk in death. Because Elohim is light and no part darkness, because Yahuah is life, Elohim is life. There is no death in him. That's why he said they don't speak according to this word, because there's no light in them, or there's no life in them. That's why he said, you are of your father the devil, the lust of your father you will do, for he was a liar from the beginning, and the truth is not in him. Meaning there's no light in him, meaning there's no life in him. That's why people get it confused when he said he transformed himself into an angel of light. He purports himself to be a Malachim, or a messenger of life, but the reality of the situation is he's darkness. There's no life in him, because he is death. That's why he said he had power over death. This is why he said he came to make an end of transgressions, to finish the sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, or to cover the punishment for Avon or iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, which is the Ruach HaKadosh, and everlasting life. Doing so, it brings to pass what's in Genesis 3 and 15, which Paul referenced in Romans 16, that the Lord shall step on the head of the serpent, or the devil, in due time. You know what I'm talking about? Therefore, that's why I say the prince of this world is judged. He's shafat. He's been condemned. So when Hebrew tell you he came to destroy him that had power over death, that is the devil. And John is telling you that, hey, and you know he was manifested to take away our sins and to destroy the works of the devil. He is destroying the night. You know what I'm saying? Or death. This is why I said that, read that in Romans 8. I'm finna say it wrong. 8 and 1.
There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach Yahushua, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Ruach. For the law of the Ruach of life in Hamashiach Yahushua had made me free from the law of sin and death. What the law could not do, and that it was weak through the flesh, Elohim sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh.
That's it.
That the righteousness of the law.
That's good. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's how he got rule over the night. See, he's the lesser light or the younger light. He got rule over that. You know what I'm saying? Because his father gave him that power and rule. But when it comes to the ruling over the day, 1 Thessalonians 5, we want to clean that up.
But of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so comes a thief in the night. For when they shall say shalom and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them as travail upon a woman with child. They shall not escape. But you, brethren, are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you.
You, brethren, are not in what?
Are not in darkness.
So you're not in death, that day should what?
Overtake you.
Because if you in sin, that day gonna catch you. Go ahead.
You are all the children of light.
Children of what?
Of light.
What else?
The children of the day.
Children of the who?
Of the day.
If you the children of the sons of the day, see, pause. Now this is where the Isaiah 14 come into play. He said, you the children of the who?
Children of light.
Children of the day. Isaiah 14 and 12. Oh, my Lord. After that, Psalms 45 and 7. Come on with it.
Say, how are you falling from Shamaim, O Lucifer, son of the morning?
Paul, son of the who?
Son of the morning.
So this is the son of the day. Tell them what son of the morning means. What did it mean?
Morning, you got Shakar, a dawn.
Sun.
Law. So that's the howl, the will to make a howl. And then sun. That's Ben.
So you got literally Bon, Ben, the son of the Shakar of the dawn. You know what I'm talking about? So continue. Because remember, Elohim is light. If he's the son of God, he's the son of light. Because can't be no darkness in him because ain't no darkness in his father. You know what I'm talking about? Continue.
Say, how are you cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nation?
Cut down to the ground.
For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into Shamaim.
I will do what? What and if you shall see the son of Adam ascend to where he was before? It's expedient for you that I depart. Because if I don't depart, then I can't send the comforter unto you. He said, and he said, I will ascend what?
Ascend into Shamaim. I'll exalt my throne above the stars of
Pause. Now go to Psalms 45 and 7. I will exalt my throne above the stars. We know stars is Kokab. That is the sons of Mashiach. There is no way around that. That's literally what it means. And he can read the definition just in case you think I'm making it up. Go ahead.
Say you love righteousness and hate wickedness. Therefore, Elohim, your Elohim, have anointed you with the oil of gladness
above your
fellows.
Above your
fellows.
He said he didn't take on the nature of Malachim, right? Tell him what fellows is. That would mean these would be his fellows. Remember what the angel told John. He said, I am of your brethren and of your fellow servants, the prophets. That's what he told him.
This is Kaber, that is united, an associate, a fellow, worshipers, a companion.
A companion, they're united, they're one. It's one body, one heart, one faith, one immersion, one baptism. Just because I reference it so niggas think I ain't making it up. John 19 and 8. I mean, Revelation 19 and 8. I'm sorry. Revelation 19 and 8.
And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen,
clean and white.
For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints.
Listen.
He said unto me, right, Baruch are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. He said unto me, these are the true sayings of Elohim.
That's right.
And I fell at his feet to worship him.
He fell at his feet to do what?
Worship him.
And he said
unto me, see you do it not.
Why he told him not to do it?
I'm your fellow servant.
I am your what?
Fellow servant.
And of your brethren
that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship Elohim. For the testimony of Yahushua is the rock of prophecy.
What the one that he told him, he said, I'm of your brethren, the prophets. He didn't say it right there. I think it's in 22. I need 22. When you say of your brethren, the prophets, you need 22. There it is. It's 22. 22 and 8. You can make it 22 and 6. Revelation 22 and 6.
And he said unto me, these sayings are faithful and true. And the Lord Elohim of the Kadash prophets sent his Malachim and shown to his servants things which must shortly be done. Behold, I come quickly. Baruch is he that keep the sayings of this prophecy of this book. And I, John, saw these things and heard them. And when I had heard and seen, I fell down to worship before the feet of the Malachim, which showed me these things.
And what the Malachim said?
Said he unto me, see you do it not.
Why?
For I am your fellow servant,
and of
your brethren the prophets.
And of your who?
Your brethren the prophets, and of them which keep the sayings of this book.
Worship who?
Elohim.
Listen, if he say he of his brethren the prophets, then guess what that tell you? Who is my brother? Who is my mother? But him that do the will of who? Elohim. Because he told her, I'm of your brethren, the prophets. I'm your people. We the same. So if he's telling John, who is an apostle, a servant of God, born of God, if this Malachim is telling him, I'm of your brother, that means they're united. They're a companion. And if that means if Yahushua is over John, guess what that means he is with the Malachim? He over them too. Come on back to Psalms 45 and 7 and read it one more time. Prayerfully, this would make the things that's in Psalms 19 understandable of what's being communicated. If you understand what I'm talking about.
So you love righteousness and hate wickedness. Therefore, Elohim, your Elohim, have anointed you with the oil of gladness
above your
fellows.
He gave him the anointing of gladness above them. That means he would be greater than them. So go back to Isaiah 14 and what? 12 or 13?
13. Say, for you have said in your heart, I will ascend in the Shamaim. I'll exalt my throne above the stars of Elohim. I will sit also upon the mountain of congregation.
The mountain of the congregation per Isaiah 2 and 1 is Mount Zion or Jerusalem.
And the sides of the north.
Sides of the north per Psalms 48 and 1 is in the city of the great king, which is Jerusalem. This ain't referring to Satan. What did we read in Luke 1 and 30? He said he shall be called great and the son of the highest. And that he should sit upon the throne of his father David. Where is the throne of his father David at? In Jerusalem. What does the sides of the north refer to? Ezekiel 48 lets you know that there are 3 tribes who have a gate on the north side, and Judah is one of them. Levi is the other, and Reuben is the other, if my memory serves me correctly. So this is how you see he's ruling over the day, because he got rule over the sons of God. He said, "You call me your Lord and Master," and he said, "You say the truth because I am." Go ahead, and he tell you he the King of Kings, ain't he? Okay, Lord of Lords.
Say, I'll ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
He will be like the who?
The Most High.
Tell him what like mean, because that's what he told you in Philippians. Paul did.
That is Dama, to be like, to resemble.
To resemble. So when he say to be like the Most High, he say, I'm going to resemble him. Well, how does he resemble him? Yahuah Elohim, merciful, gracious, abundant in goodness and truth, long-suffering, showing mercy on the thousands, forgiving sin, iniquity, and transgression. Simple. It's not that deep. Amen, Sister. Not that deep. That's how he, because that same word for like is the same word in Genesis 1 when he said, let us make man in our likeness and in our image. You're going to resemble him. Well, what is it to resemble him? This is why Yahushua said, my Father is greater than I, which goes back to what's in Genesis 41 when Pharaoh told Joseph, you be equal to me, only enthroned in power am I greater than you. He said, do you think there's a possible error in that chapter as both Ephraim and Manasseh have gates? No, Ephraim and Manasseh do not have gates. Yeah, and I lost the notification because I don't be on there like that as much. Ephraim and Manasseh don't have gates, though. Read Ezekiel 48 and 30. Joseph has a gate, but Ephraim and Manasseh do not have gates. Dan has a gate. Ephraim and Manasseh would be included in Joseph's gate. But when you read the names of the tribes of the gates, it's literally his sons. You don't, either he put his name on Ephraim and Manasseh, and they were adopted and brought in. But yeah, they don't have a gate. Ezekiel 48 and 30.
Saying these are the goings out of the city on the north side, 4,500 measures. Mm-hmm. The gates of the city shall be after the names of the tribes of Yasharal. 3 gates northward, 1 gate of Reuben.
1 gate Reuben.
1 gate of Yehudah, and 1 gate of Levi.
Judah and Levi. Who else?
And at the east side, 4,500, 3 gates, 1 gate of Joseph. 1 gate of Benjamin. 1 gate of Dan.
And
on the south side, 4,500.
Who on the south side?
3 gates, 1 gate of Simeon. 1 gate of Issachar. 1 gate of Zebulon.
At
the west side, 4,500 with with their 3 gates, 1 gate of Gad, 1 gate of Asher, and 1 gate of Naphtali.
That's it. You trying to tell my uncle that was an heir to? Yeah. That's where it's at. Like Ephraim and Manasseh don't have a gate. You know what I'm saying? Just like Dan isn't mentioned in the 144,000, but Manasseh is. And that's where people be like, okay, Dan is gone. Dan can't be gone because he's a son of Jacob, a son of Israel. If Dan is gone, Yahuah lied. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a lot of people realize that. And again, I think that's just the machinations of men to come up with stuff that they can't explain instead of just saying, hey, man, okay, I mean, Dan ain't talked about like that, but neither is Asher. You know what I'm saying? And neither is Naphtali. You know what I'm saying? The majority of people who the text focus on don't come. Ain't nobody from Gad they talking about like that. Like Samson was a Danite. You know what I'm talking about? So, a lot of, at the end of the day, man, people expect the book of Yahuah to detail every single solitary detail of everything. And that's not the case. I don't even know where people get that thought process from. They be like, oh, if the Bible don't say it, man, that man didn't say he was going to. This man said, it tell you in Psalms 40, the world wouldn't even be able to contain all the books if they were written. Read it for him, man. Psalms 40, man, by verse 4. Say this accusation, many scholars, is that Dan is a traitor. And they call foul on that because Dan is known as the one that did not take bribes. They say that because of what's written in Genesis 49, but that's where the gospel come in at. The testimony of Yahuah about Dan would count himself as one of the tribes. He's a serpent, by the way. It's bearing witness of Judas. The people like to make stuff up. He said, what about Dan not being there because of the judge part? Man, people making all that up, Barry, to be honest with you. Nowhere in the text does it explicitly say Dan is removed as a tribe. It don't say that. But because you have Ephraim and Manasseh being brought in because Jacob said on his deathbed, let my name be named on them, then, hey, man, there's a swap out here and there. Here's what it is. And the thing is that if anyone was to not have a gate, it would be Levi or Ephraim would be Joseph's line, and Levi was housed with his brother. And that's fair. That is saying, but Levi has a gate. You know what I'm saying? And obviously because Ephraim and Manasseh are Joseph's. Ephraim and Manasseh can't have a gate because the reality of the situation is they're not his sons, but they are his sons. What do I mean by that? Because they didn't say grandfather and grandson then. That would just be your father and your son. And of course, y'all know from Genesis 48, he put his name on them so that they could be a part of the covenant and the birthright of the inheritance that he received. But that doesn't change that those two young men did not emanate out of his loins. Therefore, he cannot give them a gate. They have to go in with their father's gate. Continue, good sir. Now, you made a fair argument. You know what I'm saying, bro? You made a fair argument all the way around the board.
He said, Baruch is the man that make Yahuah his trust and respect not the proud, nor such as turn aside the lies.
Mm-hmm.
Many, O Yahuah, my Elohim, are your wonderful works which you have done. And your thoughts, which are to us word, they cannot be reckoned.
They can't be reckoned
up in order unto you. If I would declare and speak of them, they are more than can be numbered.
They're more than can be numbered. There's absolutely no way that we would be able to remunerate every single solid. That's what people expect. The book of Yahuah never states that that's what it's for. The book of Yahuah is the words of life that if a man believe and follow, he can live forever. Not the detail of every single solitary human interaction, every single solitary interaction of every person or tribe in Israel. It don't say that. He's giving you the information which is needed for you to take so you can live forever. But for most people, that's not sufficient because getting the word to live forever and to dwell and serve and worship the Almighty Elohim Yahuah of hosts is not why the majority of people are doing this. You know what I'm saying? They want to use the word for everything else other than what it was made for. You know what I'm talking about? Or like we were talking about earlier, they want to justify themselves to people who don't believe. You have to be the simplest of the simple to waste your time trying to justify God with somebody who already read Psalm 58:1. You damaging yourself. I'm not finna do that, man. You know what I'm talking about? For what? Listen to what he say, man. The wicked, soon as they born, they estranged, telling lies. That's what he told you. Read it.
Say, do you indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do you judge uprightly, O you sons of men?
You sons of men.
Yea, in heart you work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands in the arrests. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born.
Telling lies.
Speaking lies.
If these people have been estranged from God from the day that they were born, what is you trying to convince these people for? Say, yes, if I'm not mistaken, when Manasseh was born, he was born on. No, I don't think. Let's look and see. Genesis 48. I don't think he was born here. I think they were already. He already had them sons before Jacob found out that he was alive. So he already had them. That's why he wanted the blessing. He called them to his lap for the blessing. 48 and 12. Well, 48 and 11.
You say Yasharal said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see your face.
Well, hold on, make it verse 8 so we can get the context of what I'm saying, that they were already born.
Yeah, Yasharal beheld Joseph's sons and said, who are these? Joseph said unto his father, they are my sons whom Elohim have given me in this place. And he said, bring them, I pray you, unto me. And I will. So they were already born. Go ahead. Now the eyes of Yasharal were dim for age, so that he could not see, and he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them and embraced them.
Yasharal said unto
Joseph, I had not thought to see your face, and lo, Elohim have showed me also your seed.
Joseph
brought them out of from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face toward the arets.
And Joseph
took them both, Ephraim in his right hand toward Yasharal's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand towards Yasharal's right hand, and brought them near unto him.
Yasharal
stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head.
Who was the
younger,
and his left hand
upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wittingly, for Manasseh was the first.
And he baruched
Joseph and
said what?
Elohim, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the Elohim which fed me all my life long unto this day.
The Malachim which redeemed me
from all evil.
Baruch the lads.
And let my name be named on
Let
them.
my what?
My name be named on
and
them,
the names
of my fathers Abraham and Isaac. Let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the arets.
That's it. He said, I got love for the Danites. Say, who was born on his lap? I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that. I can't call it. I can't recall nobody off the top of my head being born in his lap. But yeah. They were already here. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at that, Yahushua is the greater light to rule the day because he has rule over the sons of God. He's the lesser light that has rule over the night because he rules over death. Do you know what I'm talking about? And that's and then the stars also. Let's go back to Genesis 1 because it's 11 o'clock. We're approaching 3 hours. We got to get off here. We could, y'all willing, pick some of this up on tomorrow. Read verse 14 one more time. That's fair, Joseph. That's fair.
And Elohim said, let there be lights in the firmament of Shamim to divide the day from the night.
Let them be for what?
For signs and for seasons and for days and years.
Listen.
Let them be for lights in the firmament of Shamim to give light upon the arets.
To give light on it. We just read that you sign as lights in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation. He said it set them that they separate the day from the night because it's supposed to be a separation between you and them. Sanctify them by truth. Your word is truth. We just read where he said they're sanctified by the faith that is in me. They're supposed to be. Read 1 Thessalonians 5:1 again because I don't think we finished the verse.
He said, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so come as a thief in the night. When they shall say shalom and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them as travail upon a woman with child. They shall not escape. But you, brethren, are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief.
He said, you're not in darkness at the what?
They should overtake you as a thief. You are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness.
So if we're not of darkness, we're not of death, we're not of wickedness. Go ahead.
For they said, therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep in the night and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation.
See, if you of the day, if you of God, there's a different level of conduct. Go ahead.
For Elohim have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord, Yahuah HaMashiach, who died for us, whether we wake or sleep.
That's good.
Together with him.
So, what I couldn't tell you to look at, there wasn't none. So, 1 and 15 Genesis, man. And let them be for lights for what?
And the firmament of Shamim to give light upon the arets, and it was so.
And Elohim made what?
2 great lights.
A greater light.
To rule the day.
A lesser light.
To rule the night. The stars also.
And that's Kokav. So listen, right? If Yahushua is the light that rules the day, then he rules the night, and then you have those who are born of him. Because that, give him Kokab, read it off the paper for him. The definition of that word, star.
Star of Messiah, brothers, youth, numerous progeny.
Stars, brothers, youth. You know what I'm talking about? If we just read he was anointed with the oil of gladness above his fellows. So he would be above them. And Elohim set the firmament, set them where?
And the firmament of Shamaim to give light upon the arrest.
And to rule over the day.
And over the night.
And to divide the light.
From the darkness.
And Elohim saw that it was what?
Good.
And the evening.
The morning was the fourth day.
So pause. Remember, Elohim is light and no part darkness. You know what I'm talking about? So Yahushua ruling over the night and the day. He's ruling over them in a different capacity. Ruling over the day is ruling over the sons of God and the Malachim. Ruling over the night as he's ruling over the devil because he destroyed the works of the devil. He's ruling over death because it said the wages of sin are death, but the gift of life is through Yahushua HaMashiach. He got, remember that word means have dominion or rule. That word rule there, you know what I'm saying? He's got dominion or rule. Read that definition one more time, man. We read Psalm 19, one more instance, and we get off here. Because we done talked about this before I say this, man, because it's nighttime right now, right? And some of y'all on here already know what's about to be said. But every time you step outside at night and you see a star in the sky, that's symbolic of the name of the Son of God. Remember, this is a genealogy of Shamaim. That genealogy there is not Doré, which is period of time, but Toledeth, which is a descendancy. So when he tell you this, when you look at the firmament that he separated a Shamaim band, that's the scroll or the book of life. Every star is representative of a sun. God willing, man, when you step outside and you see a star in the sky, that's your name you see, because that's literally what those stars represent, names written in heaven. And when you see that moon out at night, that's representative of Yahushua ruling over them. You know what I'm talking about? Because the stars only come out at night, not the freaks. You know that song. Which, of course, when you see the sun out in the daytime ruling over the day, is because he's the one who has rule over God's kingdom until the time come when he delivered up to the Father, like 1 Corinthians 15 takes. But go ahead. Psalm 19:1.
Rule is mashal. To rule, have dominion, to reign.
Well, it's not just mashal. It's a different word.
This is the one that verse 18, the first rule.
Yeah, I still got it pulled up, man. Mem Shalah, Mim, Shan, Lamad, and Hay, rule, dominion, realm, the rule or dominion of God, the realm of a ruler. And you know he went to preach to the spirits in prison. Read 1 Peter 4:1. I called for that earlier when you read it. Is it 1 Peter 4:1? It's 1 Peter 4:8 or 4:6. 1 Peter 4:6.
It said, for this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to Elohim and the Ruach.
Go ahead.
But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober, watch unto prayer. And above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins.
Hold on. I ain't hear what I want. The first epistle general of Peter. That's what they said on me. That's general epistle, huh? Read verse 5 for me. That's what I did.
It said, who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead?
He's ready to judge the quick and the dead. If he can judge the quick and the dead, and he's the light to rule over the night, and the night is representative of darkness, which is representative of death, he got power over that. We just read, he said, I got the keys to hell and death. If you got the keys to Sheol or to the grave and to death, you ruling over that. You ruling over that. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of the power that he took. You know, in some movies, when they detail his crucifixion, you know, they like what was that Passion of the Christ? Because I only seen it one time. When they show Satan like scream, when he died, because nigga, you lost. Because then once he do that, he got power over you. We just read that in Hebrews. He came to destroy him to have power over death. That is the devil. Now he ain't got no power. You know what I'm saying? Because now he ruling over that. And again, look at it. That happens on the fourth day or in the midst of the week, because he shall confirm with many the covenant in the midst of the week, and then cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because he sanctified us once and for all for the sacrifice of himself, taking us back to the propitiation of having faith in his blood. And it's not having faith in his blood like it's commonly communicated. We know propitiation is referring to an atonement, which is referring to kafar, which was referring to cover. And the life of the flesh is in the blood. So I've given you the blood for atonement. So you have a muna or batak or aman or amath or faithfulness or steadfast faithfulness and the testimony of him being the atonement. You know what I'm saying? Of him being the covering of the sin. Because we just read, I'll blot your sins out. You know what I'm talking about? It's not like how people just, and I get it why people would say that but the life of the flesh is in the blood. So when he said, hey, I'm going to give my flesh for the life of the world, I'm going to give you my blood for an atonement to cover your sin. And not for future sins, not for present sins, but for past sins. Meaning once you have heard and believed, you're forgiven for the sins that you've done before that point. You ain't necessarily going to be forgiven. That's where the Hebrew 10 and 26 come in at. There remain no more sacrifice for willful sin. Because number one, there's not none in the law, and he's representative of that. So there's going to be a problem. You know what I'm talking about? And then when you see that it's all the same word. Now, again, that takes it back to the point that we started with. Some people accept Yahushua and some don't. And you have to be okay with that. Let me show you. Go to John chapter 7. Look at something, a statement that was made with the people of that time, man. They had going back and forth, like, man, for lack of a better word, 7 and 40. Them people really felt like, man, who is this nigga? You know what I'm talking about? Them people were confused in their brains. Some people weren't. Some people were. Some people were against him. Some people were for him. Some people were on the fence. Like, again, we have to pause. We can't romanticize this situation just because, I believe in Jesus. I believe in Yeshua. I believe in Yahushua. Ooh, that's great. That's outstanding. Let Abba and Shamaim be esteemed. You dig what I'm talking about? But we can't act like the fact that when this man was walking this earth and after his ascension and his apostles were sent forth, that there wasn't contention amongst these people that he was who he said he was. You know what I'm saying? Because it was. The same way I told you, the lady told me, if you say it like this here, you win more. Baby, everybody didn't. People romanticize that everybody followed Yahushua when the text says clearly that everybody did not. That everybody believed in him and everybody did not. And the fact that this man was, for lack of a better term, extremely petty. In and forth is his responses. But I ain't even going to say petty. That man just didn't fool with them scribes and Pharisees like that. Not because they were scribes, not because they were Pharisees, not because it was all of them, but certain one, because them dudes was flawed. And he ain't fool with them. Because he know that they didn't love God or love the people. So he didn't fool with them. So he didn't spare them. Like, I'm not finna play with you, nigga. That man was talking parables, talking terrible about them men to their face. Or then sometimes talk plainly bad about them to their face. You know what I'm saying? Tell them they ain't know what they was talking about. That man wasn't walking around on the type of time that people on, man. And he wasn't really walking around trying to correct their teachings per se. He was like, man, these niggas, what he told him, better beware the 11, better watch them niggas fake. That's what he telling them. Boy, them boys fake, you better watch them. Hey, man, them boys live like this. Don't fool with them. Like, he wasn't on like people. You got to stop romanticizing stuff and look at it. If you believe that the word of Yahuah is true, these are real live people. You know what I'm talking about? So these are real life situations and circumstances that's going on. Some of these circumstances you may have found yourself before in your lifetime. You know what I mean? So nevertheless, go ahead with it. John 7 and 40.
Many of the people, therefore, when they heard this saying, said of a truth, this is the prophet. Others said, this is the Mashiach. But some said, shall a Mashiach come out of Galilee?
Have not.
The scripture said that a Mashiach come of the seed of David.
Out of the town
of Bethlehem, where David was.
So there was what?
Division among the people because of him.
They were divided. They were divided when it comes to this. Jose tell you about it. Hold on, I get it for you. Jose tell you about it. These people were divided because of this. They were divided because of this, man. These people ain't know Like, man, what's going on? I don't know about this. You know what I'm saying? Where's it at? Right here in Hosea 10:1. Yasharal is an empty vine. He bring forth fruit unto himself. That's taking us back to Genesis 1. According to the multitude of his fruit, he has increased his altars. According to the goodness of his land, they have made goodly images. Their heart is divided. Now they shall be found faulty. He shall break down their altars. He shall spoil their images. But now they shall say, we have no king, because we fear not the Yahuah. What then should a king do to us? And then he say their hearts divided. Them people hearts were divided then. You know what I'm saying? Just like some people, the people as a whole, our hearts are divided. This is not a new thing. Again, you can't romanticize stuff, man, because the text tell you, come on, man, the people were persecuting them Apollo. Man, that man told him, didn't I tell you not to teach in his name, boy? Read Psalms 19:1 one more time. We get off here, man. It's almost 11:30.
Shamahim declared the esteem of Elohim, and the firmament show his handiwork. Day unto day utter speech, night unto night show knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard.
No speech nor language where their voice is not heard.
Their line is going out through all the Iraqs, their words to the end of the world. In them have he set a tabernacle for the sun.
He set a house for the sun. God willing, we'll come back for more of this here, man. But I say hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. I appreciate y'all time this evening, and I bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Perfectly understood these things, because we hit a lot. At least I think so. So, yeah, there's that. So, I appreciate y'all. I bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Yahuah, big man. Y'all, peace, brother, oh my man. Y'all willing, man. We'll be back on tomorrow. Finish more of Ezekiel 16. We got some of the elements of Genesis 1 that I desire to do. Because the rest of Genesis 1 ain't really dealing with that as it pertains to Psalms 19 and other stuff with that. Y'all willing, we'll do all that there. We can knock that out. Proverbs 6, of course, is dealing with adultery. So we'll deal with all that in due time. Amen, Brother Margaret, man. Be safe. Love you too, bro. So that's what we're going to do with that. Shalom, Rohan, man. So y'all willing, man. Till then, man. I'm getting off here, man. It's 11:30, man. I know y'all better go on here, lay that down. Peace, Brother Joseph, man.